better late than never, right? So, last we left off, the group had decided to make a little trip into the High Forest to meet Yarl, currently MIA, his patron. And basically his patron had been calling out to him and asking him to visit, and so he acquiesced, and you all went along. So you trudged through the High Forest for a bit, which is this massive, like, kingdom-sized forest that it's full of all sorts of interesting things and lots of influence from the Feywild. The party came across a couple of animated trees that were apparently animated by some tree ant somewhere. And yeah, they fought those. Ethan's skeletons got slapped, but he's since recovered most of the bits, so should be able to reanimate them. And then the party continued onward, eventually passing into the Feywild itself. Also, there's a massive frog that was super sad, and by the time it was all said and done, had a move speed of 5, so he just stayed in his pond and was sad.
That's super sad frog.
And right, so the party actually crossed into the Feywild there for a bit, coming across this strange little bearded creature that threw crap at the... Hey! Look who it be, maybe.
I am here now.
Are you? I don't know if I believe you.
I'm sorry.
Running across this little strange gnome/satyr looking thing with like living hair as far as you could tell. Strange. Eventually the party met up with LaRue herself, who is this pure white unicorn, who can also apparently shift into a human form, although still keeping the horn.
She's a freaky fey chick.
So,
Pretty hot though.
She's my friend.
right, so she led the group to a little pond, and put Yarl through a little test of a sort. That looked a little sketchy at first, as these wisps started to draw life energy from him, but eventually he managed to gain control of them, and so gaining a new little ability to summon wisps to help him out, and whenever he wishes. After that, the LaRue mentioned that there was some artifact that would most likely be helpful to you in your future journeys, and thus opened a little touched a tree that kind of pulled open and made this little gateway that you could walk through to apparently some other part of the forest. So, like I said, the unicorn, she kind of touches her horn to the tree. It kind of splits open with this cracking sound, and you have a doorway ahead of you.
I am so done with the Feywild. I just want to leave. So, the fastest way out is probably by following her. So.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, and then you notice as you look through the doorway. So here, I mean, you've been in the Feywild for a while, but the whole time you've noticed that the time of day hasn't changed. It's pretty much perpetually dusk. Yarl, you would be familiar with this. You know this is how the Feywild works. It's always dusk. That's just how it works.
I like that.
On the other side of the tree, though, it looks like it's a little bit darker. It's probably getting closer to nighttime, but it's not the same just shade of dusk that it's been the whole time you were here. So it's probably just the abyss.
You know what? Better than this fucking place.
No, it's not. But sure.
Is it really?
So you guys go through.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the group passes through, and you are it's a little jarring for how smooth it is. You step out. There's a bit of a temperature change. The area looks different. The trees all look like the regular trees you're used to. You look up, you don't see that same dark purple sky, though. It's getting dark, but it's not the same shade. You're obviously somewhere new, but you didn't feel a transition. You didn't feel anything. You just stepped through, and now you're somewhere else. And a matter of fact, you find there's this clearing, a little bit of a clearing, and you see this massive oak tree that you assume is the grandfather tree. This tree is about at the base. It's like approximately 50 feet in diameter. And the top of it, at its highest, is somewhere probably over 350 feet. This is a massive, massive tree. It's probably been there for a very, very long time. Around the tree, there's two kind of earthen rings that kind of build up, almost like a pedestal of sorts, that build up to the base of the tree. It's on these earthen rings. It's surrounded by a few other trees, smaller, more regular-sized ones. And that's what you see ahead of you. LaRue kind of turns to you, to Ural. It's just like, well, there's the grandfather tree that you saw so many years ago.
It's even bigger than I could have possibly imagined.
Well,
Quite frankly.
this tree's been here for almost as long as I have, so it's very old. And
ask a lady her age.
and she begins to walk down towards the tree, kind of nodding her head for everyone to follow. And as she walks across the grass, you hear some strange voices come from the tree, feminine. Do any of you speak Elvish?
Elvish?
Yes.
Negative team.
No.
This
Okay.
campaign was the one about giants.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no Elvish. That's fine. Now, Giant's a good one to have. It's definitely a good one to have. That'll come into play.
That would
We'll
probably
see.
have been better than Undercommon, but
Hey, who knows, man?
I
But
know Celestial.
yeah, so none of you all don't recognize what's being said, but there's a voice calling out, and
I figured if I didn't know Elvish, that you guys would let me be an elf next time. Like,
it is. I had nothing to do with elves. I washed my hands clean. I'll go back to it next campaign.
Dex was my dump step.
Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, so you look over, and you see a few figures. They're humanoid. They're feminine, but they look like they're kind of like instead of skin, you see bark. They look to be made of wood. Instead of hair, you see like moss kind of hanging off of the scalp. And they look like they're going to stop you, but then they look over and they see LaRue. Their eyes go wide, and she and LaRue kind of says something to them again in this language that none of you understand. And they just wordlessly just nod and kind of just step off to the side. So, yes, it appears that they know who this creature is. and as you continue to walk up, she's just like, "Oh, those are just the dryads. They make sure no unsavory types do anything to the tree. Although it would take a lot to hurt this thing."
I would imagine.
And so as you make your way up, at this point, the sun is getting pretty low in the sky. Things are getting fairly dark. Everything's got a little bit of like there's a little bit of light. It's dim, but everything's a little gray, as a lot of the trees block out some of the sunlight coming from the horizon. And so LaRue says that many years ago, there was a strange little shaman whose people had taken something from the giants. He took this artifact here and hid him at the base of this tree. This artifact, while most likely will not seem immediately useful to you, I believe will help you in your journeys ahead. So,
if it helps me kill giants, I'll take anything you got.
she's like, well, it's not a weapon or anything of that nature. And so you can kind of see at the base of the tree, the roots, a lot of them kind of come up and breach the soil a little bit. And you can see little small tunnels, little chambers that are within the roots. Let's see, I think it's only about it is not very big, especially Malachi, who had described some claustrophobia before, would probably, like, you look at it, you might get stuck in there. It might not be something you're interested in testing. It's only really a few feet tall. Even Moyer would have to kind of hunch a little bit to get through. Anybody else would have to be like hands and knees really to kind of squeeze through.
That's interesting. Well, I'm sure Tyler's fine. So.
Yeah.
So, is Moyer gonna go take a peek?
Am I allowed? I suppose, yeah, but...
Yeah, she's saying there's something useful for you there, and yeah, for sure.
Okay, then yeah.
Okay. So you come up to the base of the tree, and as up right next to it, as you kind of climb your way up past the two earthen rings, it's staggering how tall this thing is, and being right next to it is just like, this thing would dwarf
like 100 times my height. So.
Yeah, it would dwarf giants. So, anyway, but in the roots, you can kind of see there's almost like a little bit of like a tunnel sort of network. It gets dark very quickly in there, so it's very hard to see. I don't think you have night vision, or dark vision, so you would need some sort of light source in order to really be able to see in there. So
I'll look in there.
Crane, you take a peek in there, and you see kind of like these pseudo winding tunnels, and they like. You see it go forward for a bit, kind of curve, and then go out of sight and disappear further underneath the tree.
Can I have a torch? But I don't feel like that's a good idea.
LaRue looks at it and says, well, you could try, but it's not going to light.
Okay, well then, sure. Yeah, I'll add torch.
Wait,
You're looking
can
for
I
light.
tell that they're having trouble seeing?
Yeah, you know what's going on.
Okay, I cast light on anything that he's holding.
Sure. Yeah.
Just fucking.
You could toss it on his shoulder, on his
Yeah.
anything really. It doesn't matter.
On his dumb, stupid. Well, are you wearing a helmet? Not wearing a helmet. I
Oh,
just
I'm wearing your breastplate.
on your breastplate. All right, yeah.
All right, so you got this Iron Man shining light just chilling on your chest. If you try to light the torch though, like it just doesn't seem to want to catch, and if you can get it to flare up for a little bit, it almost instantly just cuts right out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and LaRue kind of chuckles to herself. She's just like, just my presence alone has a number of different effects on the surrounding area. One of them being, open flame has a harder time existing. You also might have noticed at some point a couple of your healing spells might have had a little extra oomph to them.
You turn to Yerl.
I did notice that.
Are we gonna? Is this?
So you can see now into this area.
What?
Are we going? I'm not going in first.
LaRue says, "There's nothing dangerous in there. It's just a little hidey hole that some shaman some time ago dropped a little present, if you will." So,
I feel like we can trust her implicitly. Otherwise, we'd be in a whole lot of trouble already.
I'll take the lead down there.
If she wanted to kill us, this was not the way that she needs to worry about that.
Wait, you're gonna
So-
take the lead?
Yeah.
Oh. We have to be willing sacrifices, Frank.
Willing.
It's the only way the spell works.
Yeah.
So the two of you start to travel, continue on into this tunnel. Easy enough to see with the light spell. There's no issue. You can kind of see bits of roots that are hanging down. Pretty quiet in there. Nothing moving. No sounds or anything like that. And these tunnels kind of wind a little bit, and some of them split off, but there seems to be a general winding path that kind of goes more towards the center of the tree. You don't travel too far, but it feels a little bit longer because it's slow going or hunched over. And you make it to this little bit of underneath this tree, there's like a small little, maybe like 6-foot clearing within the roots, just like a little ring in the center, and you catch off of the light a little reflective flash off of something metal that's kind of buried in the dirt underneath, has a little bit of it peeking up.
Did LaRue come in with us?
No,
I assume. Oh, okay.
no, she's outside.
I'll go unearth it, I guess.
Walk up.
Okay. So the two of you begin to kind of dig away at it, and you start pulling away, and you see more and more. Let's say from the two of you, to know what kind of metal it is. Investigation would probably work. Maybe a history if you prefer that.
Investigation 19.
Okay.
22 on investigation.
Okay, sure, no problem. The two of you can tell that this is electrum, which is a metal used in some currencies in some places, but it's nothing intrinsically interesting about it. It's just kind of a silvery color. And as you begin to dig this up, you find this large, kind of U-shaped chunk of metal. It's pretty. The whole thing probably weighs in the neighborhood of 20-25 pounds. It's a pretty big chunk of metal. But it's just like this giant U shape. And
is it magnetic? Is it like trying to draw in my sword or anything? Or?
No. Nope. Just this rather large, like almost like a big old, like a horseshoe of sorts. It's got kind of curves. It looks fairly ornate. There's a little bit of carvings into it. No, it's got some runes, which if any of you, either one of you know Giant, you know that these runes are, while they don't necessarily mean something to you, you can tell that these are giant runes. So I think Crane, do you know giant?
No, I know Dwarvish. And
Okay. So yeah, neither one of you know what these runes are.
Well, I guess we'll take it back if that's the only thing down here.
Right. So you all bring it back out. And so the rest of you see, after some time, a little bit of light start to emerge as the light disappears into the roots. There's a little bit of time passes, a few minutes, and then you start to see the light start to peek through the base of the tree, as the two of them come back out holding this large silvery U-shaped chunk of metal.
Do I know that these are giant runes?
I would say...
They're runes. I know giant. I can read giant when I know that they're giant runes?
Yes, you would know that these are giant runes. Yes.
I mean, you can tell by just looking at them. They're pretty big.
Freaking A.
That was a good line. I like that one.
Giant runes.
Yeah. So,
That was a good one.
these runes aren't they're giant in nature, but they're not, strictly speaking. They're old and a little. Tell you what. Roll anybody who knows giant.
Yep.
Roll a history check for me.
So it's like
natural 20.
Okay.
Which would make that a 21.
Okay.
That's a one,
I'm a smart
baby.
man.
All right.
A moment.
Geralt,
One.
you look at it. Your eyes cross a little bit.
19.
You get a little bit of a headache.
Dyslexia.
What did you get, Ethan?
19.
19? Okay, so you could tell these are giant runes. You could tell that they're kind of like a precursor to, it seems like to modern giant script and language. Is a little hard to tell. Malachi, you pick out a few, and again, they're kind of precursors, but you start to see some of the elements of how they share with what you know now about the modern giant language. And you pick out a few things. You pick out something that you assume means something akin to chief or leader of some sort. You also find another little part that just it's some sort of marking of just size. It's something that just denotes it's almost like another name for chief, but just basically the biggest giant is essentially what it means. It's very simple, kind of crude runes, but that's what you kind of get. So you get that this is some sort of ceremonial piece belonging to the chief, aka whoever's the biggest.
Yeah, this seems like some kind of prize for being the biggest giant, or maybe it'll make you the biggest giant. I don't know.
LaRue,
Turn to LaRue and be like, "Do you know what this is?"
Yeah. So yeah, LaRue turns to. Well, yes. You see, a lot of the different giants prize different traits. The hill giants being the most simple. They simply, whoever's the largest, that's who their chief is, or chiefess is. Chiefess? I don't know what that would be. Which is that pretty much whoever's the largest one is regarded as the one in charge. Some giants, such as the fire giants, prize craftsmanship or some other form of virtue or skill. Hill giants, it's just whoever's the largest.
Interesting.
So, well, like I said, it doesn't appear to have much use to you now, but I have a feeling soon it'll come in handy. Well, it's getting pretty dark. I do have to say, I recommend sleeping here underneath the grandfather tree. It's a refreshing experience, and well, it's got its guardians, and they've been told to leave you alone, so you'd be well protected. Plus, I'm close by.
Seems like a reasonable idea.
Okay. So the group sets up camp. It's like I said, the lights, growing darker and darker. And I'm gonna say anybody with dark vision can go ahead and roll a perception check for me. Just as you're setting up and kind of laying everything out.
17.
Where does it say dark vision if you have it? I don't have dark vision.
I think it's
14.
features and
It's
traits.
under your passive wisdom, passive and passive
Mhm.
insight.
So 17 Crane, 14
Awesome.
Ethan.
14.
14 also. Okay. So, Yarol, Ethan, Crane, you all see a group of figures that are moving towards the tree. They're keeping a wide, like they're kind of taking a wide angle, like they don't want to go anywhere near you. But they're kind of passing around to the other side of the tree. And again, this is a large 50-foot around. But you see this this group of what it looks to be they looked like horses, but then as they get a little bit closer, you can see that they have human torsos on them. It's like a little group of centaurs walking by.
They
Crane.
look like they were patrolling?
No, they look like they look pretty tired, and as they kind of get into the clearing, you can see them kind of talking to each other and pointing at this large tree. It seems like they were probably looking for this place.
Assume for religious purposes.
Crane, you actually pick up, so there's a little bit of a breeze that kind of rustles through the trees, and you're kind of downwind of them, and you can catch this just ever so slight faint smell, and it's horrible. It smells like death, decay. It is this awful smell that's coming from their direction. As
Are
they
they carrying like a corpse or something? Can I see?
From what you can see, no, it doesn't. You don't see anything overt. A few of them have some bags, but nothing that you could hide a corpse in, unless it was like something small.
I'm gonna go to Yarrow and be like, "Hey, Yarrow,
Yes.
why do those horse people smell like shit? Is that something we should be worried about?"
I don't know.
There's-
I've never interacted with a centaur before, quite frankly.
There's 7 of them in total, by the way. I failed to mention.
So should we be worried?
I don't know. I've never encountered a centaur before.
Are they
I
evil?
don't know. And I don't know why they're at this specific tree either.
You're supposed to be the Feywild expert. I mean, God, look at you.
Centaurs are not Feywild.
Okay. You know what? I'm not worried about it. I'm not getting paid to worry about
It's probably
so-
fine. It's probably fine.
Yeah, you see them travel around the edge of the tree, kind of keeping a wide berth from your group, and they kind of disappear on the other side, and you don't. I mean, that's the last you see of them. Every now and again, you might hear a voice or something. You can. No, they don't sound like that. Regular voices. Again, a language you don't understand. But it as far as you can tell, it appears that they've stopped on the opposite side of the tree, and they're just hanging out there.
How do you know? I can speak Centauran.
It's a cool fucking tree, so maybe they're just hanging out. I don't know.
I mean, the Dryads let him in, then.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
I've seen it, but
So the group
Everything.
Fine.
goes to take a rest. Then, is there anything you'd like to do before bedding down for the night? Any other little things? Anything
It's
to talk
kind of
about?
normal.
It looks like nighttime. There's a little bit more of a clearing here, so you can see a bit more of the actual sky itself. And yeah, there's
It's not the Feywild
you
sky.
see stars. It does seem like there's a relatively large cloud front moving in, but other than that, yeah, it looks like the regular old sky you're used to seeing. You are not in the Feywild anymore.
Sleepy time.
All right.
Shlump.
Does everybody go to sleep except for Ethan, who
Yeah.
just kind of
Wow,
Ready to
sits
take watches,
back.
so.
Assume-
This is a long rest. Yeah.
Yes, this will be a long rest.
During this, since the last long rest, I have done absolutely nothing. Can I just mend these bones the entire 8 hours?
Sure.
However long you think it's going to actually take?
Sure. So you have 2 sets of bones that are mostly intact. And then you've got a pile of bits
Mm-hmm.
with 8 hours. Let's see. Let's have you roll. I'm trying to think. What would be a good roll?
Hold on,
just to
dude,
help
I
you
got
get
it.
there. You tell.
Let me find.
I say you tell me. What would you think would be a good
Hold
roll?
on. No, because in Horde of the Dragon Queen, after they break through the wall that you guys are in, if none of you have mending, then people that have mending run up and start to mend the wall.
Mhm.
Like if you remember, Jonah ran up there and started mending the wall, and so it
Yeah.
actually has like a how long.
I mean,
it would take.
I'm gonna say that within 8 hours, and this is most of what you're doing, you're gonna get pretty much all the way done, if not just shy. It's kind of more just for the flavor of how long it would take. But yeah, with the amount of time, nothing's going on. You don't really have to worry too much about things attacking you. Yeah, you can work your way through this bag of just little bits and pieces that you kind of start just piecing together and putting back as best you can. I'm gonna say roll just a flat intelligence check.
18.
Okay, so yeah, you put all the pieces pretty much back the way they're supposed to go. You don't really have too many weird parts sticking out anywhere. Yeah, and by the time daylight begins to peek up over the edge of the trees, you look down and you've got your whichever one this one was.
What are you talking about?
I don't know which one got the most smashed to bits. I think it was Terry. Yeah, Terry got the most smashed to bits. So, you've got, sitting in front of you, Terry, the skeleton. Mostly the way you remember him.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Terry, you're missing teeth, but it's fine.
Yeah, there might be a couple bits here and there that aren't quite like a rib that, there might be a gap in the rib cage, but you know what? Terry's looking pretty good.
I'll use this as a weapon.
Terry's looking pretty good.
Okay.
Looking spicy.
So all of you,
I'm also gonna raise them.
Oh no.
you're going to do so.
Wait,
Mending.
we're not in
Mending?
the Feywild.
Mending took until morning, about.
Fuck.
So,
I would wait till we're done.
or at least in the early hours, you might be able to do this before anybody wakes up. It doesn't appear that LaRue is immediately nearby.
No.
Sure, she
I
would.
know.
Doesn't
Take a tree
appear.
first.
So,
Oh.
you don't see her.
I won't.
Okay.
raise. Dead.
Ah,
So wise.
So, right. So you
The
think about
naivete
it,
is gone all of a
and
sudden.
and Ethan
What
might have
friends
even
gets back?
he might have even started the process and then thought about it and was like,
wait a minute. Wait a minute. I've been here before.
So, right. The rest of you, you get your sleep. It's all for all of you. It's extremely peaceful. There's really no sort of tossing and turning. It's the ground you lay on is relatively soft, but it's nothing like. I mean, it's ground, so it's not too terribly squishy. But which is probably a good thing for Malachi. But as you wake up, you all feel incredibly refreshed. Any sort of aches and pains that you had, any of that is just gone. Basically, you all get the benefit of a greater restoration spell. Is essentially so. Any sort of negative effects, any sort of like diseases, all of that would just be gone.
I mean, Ethan's no longer undead.
Not that great restoration.
So no, yeah, Ethan's still Ethan.
Damn it.
I tried, boys. I tried.
What a great story arc.
And I slept under a tree. Now I'm a human again. Woo! That's all it took. Real boy.
Time for a new character.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Well,
Oh God! Once I figure out where that's at.
I'm gonna go have sex. I'm gonna go drink alcohol. Be right back.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, right.
So you all, like I said, the light starts to peek through the trees. You all kind of start to rouse, and from the other side of the tree where those centaurs were, you hear kind of a little bit of surprised shouting, followed by laughter, followed by just general happy voices.
Ruckus. Got it.
Yeah.
If I had a broom, I'd slam the tree and be like, "Keep it down over there."
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's a very quiet morning, and then all of this, yes, this ruckus, if you will, kind of pierces through the silence.
Can we leave?
Yeah.
I don't want to be with this magic shit anymore. I don't. What is magic? How do you do it?
Any particular
Sure.
language Ruckus is like predominantly
Do what?
like any particular language this Ruckus is predominantly taking place in?
I will double check, but I am pretty sure they also speak Elvish. Yes, they.
That's helpful.
Yeah. That or another language that I'm. Yarrow, what languages do you know?
Common, Giants, and Orc.
Nope, you don't know it. And if you didn't,
It's like Sylvan or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, I
So
figured.
neither one of them are languages you understand. So, as you all awake and you start to gather your things back up, just you look over and all of a sudden, there's LaRue. You don't know when she showed up. You also don't know when she left, but she's just there.
She was there the whole time.
She's
She
got
handle those phones.
she's got a bit of a smile on her face as she listens to the laughter from the other side. And she's like, "Well, we all feeling a little bit better."
Much
I don't
better.
mean to offend you, but I really want to get back to somewhere where I know what's happening.
Oh, I entirely understand. The Feywild has a way of, well, affecting people. I understand. And kind of like casting a side glance at Ural.
Hey there.
In his head, he's like, "Yeah, annoyances. All right."
Yeah. Right, and she says, "Well, I mean, ordinarily, even just leaving the Feywild, there's a possibility you could end up, oh, not in the
Strange?
same timeline. You could have memory loss, things of that. So, luckily for all of you, I have a little bit of sway over these things."
I'm gonna look at Yarrow and be like, "Why was none of this information given to me before we started?"
Well,
You know what?
I figured things
We're
would be
done.
alright.
It's like, well, you've discussed some desire to be out of this place. I can help with that. I can get you out much faster than the way you came in. Tell me, where is it you'd like to go? I can get you to pretty close to some of the nearby towns, as long as they're on the edge of the forest. Let's see, this around the area we have, well, there's Everland, there's Jalanthar, there's a few places. And if we go to our maps, let's take a quick look at the
Yeah.
map.
Go to Everton.
She could get you back to Nornar's Hold if you wanted to. Yeah.
I think we want to go to Everland, right? Or at the very least, a Silvery Moon. which is
You
close
did-
to-
Yeah, you did have the group was given
We need to
Um,
do both.
a task to go to Everland from Darathra, who is the Lord Protector of
That's
Tribor.
right. It was like deliver a letter, right?
Yeah, she gave you a badge, like a platinum badge, and told
I
you
don't know.
to,
I guess we don't really care about Nonar's Hold, like the whole like deal with the ghosts. Like we just kind of take that as a sure this is happening, but we don't really care.
I mean, it's fine. They're protectors. They're not like malicious, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were
Yeah, we
you were
know.
told to go to Danavar's house, and you were given a badge that you were supposed to give to the proprietor there. And Darathra said that you could be given something to help you in your travels, like speed your travels up.
I want to do that.
So, also she just wanted to make sure because she's with the Harpers, and she wanted to make sure that the Harpers knew about the Giants and how far west they had made it, because
I wonder if
they've
she
been
knows that
all the way to
I'm
Tribor. Do what?
So I wonder if she knows that I've been sent to her. Probably not.
I mean, it'd be pretty hard to tell just by looking at you. So,
Yeah, I don't like wear it on my.
yeah,
face
you
or,
don't
like, some
have,
people.
yeah, you don't have an eye patch with the symbol on there or anything like that. So.
You're not exactly a face of it. You're more like a
So, it's like, well, then,
not a representative.
Everland, then I can get you within less than a day's travel.
That would be
That sounds
Great.
perfect.
All right,
good. Thank you.
sure enough. And so once again, she walks over to a tree, taps it with the horn, and once again, you hear kind of the cracking as it and splits open. You have yourself a little gateway.
Onwards.
All right, the group passes through.
Strange happen at all.
The group
Knock
passes
a little bit to get into the gateway, right?
you know, you're at least conscious of it. You know, it might not be like Sure.
I'm a little nervous. I'm kind of doing
Yeah,
like one of
yeah, you might not necessarily need to, but you're pretty used to ducking stuff at this point that it's just like it's a lot more comfortable. Right, and so you go through. You find yourself another part of the forest. Still looks relatively the same, except you look out and kind of off in the distance, you start to see little bits of open field through the trees. As it appears like you have made it to the edge of the forest. And the LaRue turns to all of you. She says, well, it was a pleasure meeting you all. Yarol, it's good to see that your development's still going strong.
Thank you, and thank you for your hospitality and helping us.
Well, of
Crane is
course.
practically like bouncing. Just like, let's go.
And she turns she turns to Crane and says, I do apologize for any unpleasantness you experienced during here, but at the very least you get a good story.
Yeah.
Don't mind him. He just gets nervous with things he can't explain.
It's just like, well, good luck to you all. I encourage you all to really think on your goal as a group. What it is that the lot of you want to do. An individual can do some good on their own. A group, well, that's untold. So, and then to Yarol, she says, "No, I want you to remember while you're out there saving the world or doing whatever it is. Remember the small things. Oftentimes they're just as important, if not more so."
That
So.
didn't like a nod.
Help who you can, and those you can't, don't beat yourself up over it.
I'll teach him. Don't worry.
Oh no!
So, and you have, like I said, you have the edge of the forest right there, close by. It's a straight shot out of the high forest.
Onwards then.
All right, you all.
We long rested under that tree. I mean, I didn't use any spells.
Yeah, you all have a long rest. Everything's back.
It was like a super long rest too.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you got a greater restoration. None of you had anything, I think, that really got affected by that greater restoration.
Question.
But yeah, what's up?
Was it the tree or her?
You don't know.
Okay.
I mean, she did say that she recommended resting under the tree, and that it was very refreshing. So you could probably guess she's talking about the tree.
We could keep that in mind if we ever have a problem like that before. I mean, I'm not sure, like, she's always going to be super friendly to us, but as long as we're being noble and all, like, makes sense. If anybody, like, is in a spot of trouble,
Yeah.
like, gets turned to stone or something.
Yeah, you have a mass greater restoration, basically.
That being said, I can totally cast that, like, soon, TM.
Yeah.
Ish.
So, I'm gonna say after all of you make it out of the high forest,
Should we get a level?
yeah, welcome to level 7.
Yes.
Damn,
Nice.
I didn't
Taking
know
a
what
level of fighter, baby.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
on God.
What the fuck do I even get at 7?
I don't know. Honestly.
I don't think I can get anything, right?
Spell
was
slot.
level 7 the feels bad level?
I
feel
think it
like
is one of
might be
those-
A feels bad level.
It might be one of those kind of lulls.
Maybe. We'll see.
But yes, you all get level 7.
Oh yeah, I don't get any, like, class stuff.
Level 7.
Wait, okay, game rules. Monk.
I know a 4th level spell. I mean, that's
Oh,
cool.
okay. 4th level spells are cool.
There we go. There we go. What do I increase by? Okay, I literally just learned one spell.
So
I
you
get
will,
control water and ice storm.
Ooh, I get another
and I can also
evocation.
prepare something if I want.
you will most likely be level 7 for a minute.
Fuck.
Did I already have 2-weapon fighting?
I don't know. Did you? I don't do rogues get a fighting style? I don't know if they do.
I don't do it unless swashbuckler.
I don't think rogues get a fighting style. So if you're taking a level of fighter, then
Okay, banishment, death ward,
That should be new for you.
divination with ritual.
Oh no, okay. It just didn't add a new thing. It just added something into 2-weapon fighting. Okay.
Spells.
Oh, I'm gonna fucking cast divination out your ass, Caleb. I hope you're ready.
Oh,
What is freedom of movement?
It's not a good
freedom
spell.
of movement means you can't be restrained. Your move speed can't be touched. Like you're just like any sort of like paralysis, anything that like slows you down or stops you just doesn't work. As far as I
There's a lot
remember,
of evocation options.
as
Like a lot.
the
Wow, I didn't-
invocation.
There are not
Not
a
too
lot.
bad.
There are not a lot of monk spells.
Well, it's because not a lot of monks cast.
Yeah, like aren't the only ones that can cast our Way of Four
Oh no,
Elements,
I mean
just Garbo?
I meant this thing that this class I'm playing. This one.
Cleric?
The cleric.
Cleric?
There are not a lot of cleric spells.
Whack.
Let's see. So
Stone
you're
shape,
mentioning
locate creature,
divination. Ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days. The GM offers a truthful reply. The reply might be a short phrase, a cryptic rhyme, or an omen. I cannot come up with a cryptic rhyme on the fly, so too bad. I ain't doing that part at least.
Yeah, I hope you're ready. I hope you're
Uh,
just ready to come up with bullshit all the time because I'm gonna cast this out my ass.
The spell
give us
doesn't take into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome, such as additional spells or the loss of gain of a companion.
So when it says additional spells,
So
like,
it's
if you're fighting
basically-
a wizard. Like it doesn't take into account anything he can do.
I'm
What'd you
thinking additional spells. I'm maybe along the lines of like if your group.
If the wizard casted a spell and we don't know about it, that would change the outcome. Like for instance, like they have like a bunch of elementals or something, or they also cast a divination and know that you know that they know that you know they know, then that could change the outcome.
Yeah, no. If two people cast
what did
divination,
you just say to me?
if two people cast divination against each other, it just rips open a hole in time and space, and the whole world's doomed. So be very careful.
It's like the Samurai Jack episode.
I know that they know that I know that you know that
Just like
you don't
that.
know anything. That's what I'm saying, right?
Oh, I get to use the longbow. Yes.
Wait a
So,
minute.
My spells suck, dude. What
Wait
am
a
I
minute.
so basically, divination is
Potential is.
was the omen or whatever it was, augury, except it's within 7 days instead of like 30
It's
minutes.
also better than augury. It's not like, hey, like, what if we do
Good,
this? Will I
bad.
get good, bad, or others? It's like,
It's specific.
Hey, what will happen? What
Yeah.
will happen if we go to Faerun and then you have to like give us like a riddle or a statement or something like that that like would indicate what generally is going to happen. I mean,
Yeah.
like that's not. You don't have to play it that way, but like if like let's say like Faerun's gonna get run over by fucking mountain giants, and then I'm just like, what'll happen if we go to Faerun? You have to be like, there's a danger of mountain
Yeah, I would
giants.
say
Not
danger,
like bad.
danger
You can't be like,
is
bad
on
feeling,
its way.
danger.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Which
exactly.
honestly,
Large.
I think I like a little bit better because with the whole like good, bad, neither or both, I think a bunch of times I just said like neither or both because I'm like, it could go either way. Like from whose perspective? I mean, it's like bad side. You have to, you know, a dragon.
That's why I don't like
Dragon
that
could eat you. Good side, he's got treasure and stuff, and he could save people. So you
I need
know,
an offering of at least 25 GP, so I'm gonna have to like
yeah.
do that. But
incense and a sacrificial
shiny
offering,
rocks?
offering appropriate to your religion. I guess anything that you feel would be. It's your character, so I'll let you flavor it
Malachi
out.
is really, really bad at like determining what is worthy.
He's just got like a chunk of bear meat, just like.
I don't know.
But yeah, some
Yeah.
incense, stuff like that.
I could join Ethan with the no sleep gang. Because
So,
that's a thing he likes to
yes.
do apparently.
Team.
All right.
Yeah, what's
So,
I need about 7 more bodies.
all right.
Oh,
Well,
did you just get like?
7.
Did you just get like a massive upgrade and you? thought
well,
you
he's
were,
got
like,
more
gonna-
spell slots that he can animate dead with.
Oh, got it. That's
Well, I can
Yeah.
cast it at 4th level now, so that's...
Ethan's
2 plus
taking
1.
the whole route of why cast like spells
Yeah, but-
when I can just have an army.
But have you learned Fireball yet?
No.
Bad
Who
wizard.
needs it?
Dude. At least he knows Lightning Bolt.
Yeah.
Like, thank goodness he
Lightning
knows
Bolt.
Lightning
You
Bolt.
got that from a scroll.
I
Anyway,
know, like shit happens. All right, that's my new mission. That's my new side quest as Malachi is to find a scroll of Fireball and force Ethan to learn it.
just like,
Like-
shove it in
like
his face.
find
Read
an
it.
Find an RP moment, like reason, kind of like Lightning Bolt, where I'm like, we can be lightning friends. You know, like Hunter's like, fuck you, Frank. I don't want to learn a useful spell. And oh, friend.
Hey there.
Anyway,
I
Could
have to
blast
have it
people.
prepared.
so the group finds their way out of the forest. You see, there's a little bit of an open field, and then a road that looks like it's maybe a quarter of a mile away from the forest. It's actually a little bit of kind of like a T junction kind of thing. Nope. No, it's not. Everyone's right at the T junction, so nope. Just a road going from left to right. Yeah.
That way.
Yeah,
Did we
it's
fight anyone at level 6, by the way? We had like one level 6 fight, didn't we?
you
Frog,
had
trees.
frog
and-
trees. You
A frog and tree. I forgot about the frog thing. Like,
You
yeah,
skipped the
that-
displacer. You didn't fight the skeletal horseman.
Oh, how would that have gone?
I don't know.
Mordecai cast divination.
It would have been a decent fight.
I couldn't damage them.
It would.
Only
I mean,
one person couldn't help.
yeah. It
Everyone
would
else
have.
either
It would
had
have
magic or magic
been.
weapons.
It would have been a bit. Yeah, that would have been a battle. And then also you guys didn't fight the cult at the Cloud Giant Tower.
I'm sorry, do you mean the respectable people
So,
in black?
But
leather?
I will not punish you for not taking fights. So, because that's lame.
Yay!
So I think non-combat options should be available. Anyway,
They were
so
encounters, and we passed them by not fighting them.
yeah, I'm gonna say between all of you, you can figure out which way to go to get to Everland. You're not far from it.
I can cast divination and be like, is Everlyn that way?
That'd be such a
Waste
Hey
of-
God.
like level 4 spell slot just to like get
No, no,
Google
it's
Maps
ritual,
real quick.
Ritual cast.
Wait,
It's
you
ritual.
can. Oh, and ritual cast doesn't use the spell slot. That is a ritual cast. Oh,
Yeah, that's why I said you better be ready because I'm gonna cast the spell like so. Many
You're
times.
right.
Like, my
Okay,
ass.
yeah, that doesn't. I mean, if you cast it 2 or more times before finishing a long rest, there's a chance you can get a
Wait a
random
minute.
reading. But
I like to imagine
a random reading. So it's like if you roll and you get the random reading. It's just like.
You give me a poem about grapes.
Or it's just like, I hear Triboard Travelers is having a pretty good sale right now.
We're having a sale.
It's just like an advertisement.
It's like a radio ad, but God.
But God,
Oh my god.
that's the best thing ever. Radio advertisement, but God.
It's like you're a prophet, but God just tells you which stores to go to.
Oh, I cast over the 4th level now.
Oh, that's funny.
That's
Anyway, so you travel along and you find your way to the town of Everland. That begins to You begin to see it reach over the horizon. At this point, you have got quite a bit of time left in the day. It was only really a little ways. I would say maybe like an hour from where you got spat out. Nah, probably a couple hours, like 2 hours from where you got spat out to get to Everland. So,
That's not bad.
yeah, not too shabby at all. Here we are. Let's see. So, Everland sits in the almost like a T of the roads that meet there. There's also a river that passes through the center of the town called the Ravin River. It's one of the North's most active mercantile communities. There's a thick stone wall that encloses the city, and it's pierced in 5 places by gates. Kind of like the spokes of a wheel, broad, straight avenues lead from each gate to the Bell Market at the city center. The streets are clean and wide enough to accommodate large caravan vehicles. Soldiers of the city's army make a show of patrolling the walls to reassure citizens and visitors, as well as to discourage attackers. The buildings of Everland are stately and well maintained, with steeply pitched rooftops and tall spires that sport colorful banners. 2 bridges span the river, which has parks and trees along its shores. Basically, this is probably one of the nicest, larger cities you've been in since Neverwinter.
I wasn't given a contact name.
You were to meet here at Everland?
Yeah, for the Zinterim.
You didn't talk to the Zentarum about Everland, no.
Yeah.
So, if you had to guess, you would just looking around, you're like, it's a big city. I bet you there's somebody in here who has some sort of connection with them. So there is that. But,
The only problem is they could be fucking anyone.
yeah, you know.
You guys really sleep around, don't you? Jesus.
So,
Hey,
yeah. Right. So you guys have made it to this town. You've got plenty of the day ahead of you. It's probably just before noon or so, like a couple hours before noon. It's not too late in the day just yet. And yeah, there's plenty of people milling about the streets. Lots of business being conducted. Lots of storefronts and housing. And so there's a Bell Market near the center. All sorts of different goods being sold there.
Ooh, Malachi.
Yeah.
Can we go to the store?
Sure.
Is there like a
What are you looking for?
like the body store?
Oh. I don't.
Crane said you can get anything with these shiny rocks.
Oh, the body store! Oh God!
You mean the morgue?
That might be a better adventure to go on with Crane rather than me. Because
What do you mean?
it's not specifically legal, Ethan, to traffic in dead bodies. That's not really.
didn't we have this conversation of don't use, like,
Yeah, no, he was gonna buy them, you know, so that way it was okay. The
That's
body
really
store.
Yeah. the body store.
It makes sense.
Conversation.
I'm not I'm not like hiding, I guess, or anything.
Yeah, I just look. All right, where's the body store at?
Ethan, are you?
Ethan, I'm not sure that it's legal to buy.
Are you
bodies.
talking about like a morgue or something? Because I mean,
What's
I
a
think
morgue?
you
It's
grease
like
someone's palms. Things can
literally
happen.
buying.
But
Why would we grease people's palms?
it's a metaphor for giving them money so they don't tell the authorities that we were looking for dead bodies.
He's very honest.
People looking for dead bodies usually aren't considered by the police force to like be sane. So,
But I'm perfectly normal.
you know what? If we see a morgue, let me know, and we might be able to make something work. But there is no body store. People usually bury bodies.
Well, I don't want to do that.
Well, yeah, but
So
we might. Wait,
What
there
are
might
those
be
giant
like.
vulture things? You think we can find a store for those?
you know
What?
that's more likely than.
And then
Body
we
store.
can kill it.
Kill
and
it.
then
Yeah, that's called animal cruelty.
or keep it alive.
And right.
Do the same thing. Yeah.
And if it
They can
happens
actually
to
fly.
die.
what are you guys talking about?
If it died mid-flight, can he animate it while it's falling?
I mean, it takes a minute to do.
No, 1 minute.
So
I don't know if a
fly.
vulture can fly up high enough to where it would take a full minute for it to hit the ground.
So if you're
Maybe.
fine.
Maybe? I don't know. I'd have to look up the
Survival.
hypothetical
He had a
science
parachute.
behind a giant vulture. I guess like an albatross or something would be the closest you could get, and just be like, I'll figure that out. I guess. How high can that thing fly?
Yeah, to be fair, it is a giant.
Yeah,
vulture.
maybe.
It's not
I
any
mean,
vulture. It's a
a
magic.
crazy
vulture.
enough situation. Who knows? In D&D, anything can happen.
Okay. But anyways, Ethan, there's no dead body shop.
Why not?
Shame.
Why not?
People usually bury or burn the dead.
Maybe in a bigger city, you know, with more
Well,
people, more
that's a
demand.
waste.
You know what's really a waste is when they bury them in cemeteries when they still have gold. I mean, if you went and dug them up,
You see,
Which is better?
Oh, God.
I
no.
think we should respect the dead.
okay, but Malachi.
I meant more burning them, but
What?
getting into a very
We could probably the horse.
we're
you
in the
could probably
gray
buy
area.
dead horses. You know, they turn them into glue. So like you could do that. That's a thing. You might be able to buy.
You know what?
Pretend to be a glue
Doesn't seem useful.
manufacturer.
I'll be on the lookout
What
for
if
a body shop.
I like take out like parts of bones?
Wait, a
and-
skeleton horse doesn't seem useful? I don't understand what your whole thing
I
is.
So-
attach.
So Ethan starts to draw bones out of a bag.
Thank you. Alright, what if I put bones on top of the horse? And like make them one. Like those
Oh.
thingies all around the tree.
So you're gonna make a center?
Centaur.
A
That
center.
sounds like quite a
Abomination of nature.
an experiment.
Can you mix
That
and
might
match
not
like
go
that?
very well. Might not go
Can
like you
mix and
think.
match skeletons.
That sounds like something that Caleb needs. I could do a divination and see.
So,
Yo, Corn, got a question.
Moyer,
If he does this, what happens?
Moyer, roll a perception check for me.
Are we all just dead?
Oh no.
Oh no.
I think
Listen, I got.
it's a natural one.
Okay. Yeah. This is a big city. There's lots of people around. It's just kind of like lots of just like ambient noise and stuff. It's kind of like overwhelming, honestly. I'm just kind of like, shoot, there's
Okay.
a lot going on here.
Yarl, you can debate with him the ethics of robbing graves and stuff.
Oh no.
I'm gonna go to the near. I'm gonna go check out the weapon shops.
Okay.
Specifically looking for enchanted short swords.
Okay. Let's see. You take a look around. regular weapons would be easy enough to find. If you're looking some of the enchanted variety, roll an investigation check for me. This is your first time in Everland. Let's see if you can find something interesting.
I rolled a nat 20.
You rolled a natural 20. All right. No, I believe you.
Is there a court temple here?
Give me just a second. I have to look up something real quick. So let's see. So you're looking around, like I said. So immediately you can find. I mean, asking around, whatever, you find blacksmiths, who seem to sell kind of like the regular stuff you would expect, whether it's armaments, whether it's just horseshoes or other things that people, travelers, and wagon axles, things of that nature. Let's see. Alrighty. Okay. Yeah. Alright. You find, so you move your way around and you find a essentially a pawn shop, basically, kind of like, and you walk and you see all sorts of different things that people have sold off. Behind the counter you see a little gnome, a little female gnome. She's got bright red hair, freckles on her face, a cheery attitude, and as you walk in, she's like, "Well, hello there, nice to meet ya."
Oh boy.
Hello?
My name's Jessica. What can I do for you?
Oh,
I got all sorts of weird stuff.
Okay. I was specifically looking for enchanted plates, like short sword.
Ooh, she's kind of like. So she's obviously got some sort of like little stool or something behind the counter there, but it still kind of comes up a little high on her, so she kind of like hops up a little bit on her hands and kind of leans forward over it, kind of like squinting at you, and she's just like, "Oh, the adventuring type, are we? Well, I think I might actually have something for you. Who knows?" And she goes and she's gonna take a look in the back. In the meantime, what is everyone else? Are you following along? What do you guys want to do? Anything else? Anything anybody else would like to look for?
I don't know. What is everyone else trying to do?
Temple. Is there Temple of Cord?
Right. Yes, you did mention that. Temple of Cord. Let me
Curious.
take a look.
I really did
Sure, no problem. Let's see. It's a decently sized. Place. Cord here. Trying to think. It doesn't mention in the description. It doesn't mention anything about.
Cord's not technically. Cord is not technically a Neverwinter.
He's not.
Forgotten Realms, technically.
He's not like too unheard of. I mean, it's not like he's a minor god or anything like that. It seems like the nature of this place, a lot of the temples are, since it's like a kind of a merchant town of sorts, there's some gods of commerce. There's Tamora, who's the goddess of luck. There's a few things in there. You don't see any necessarily to Cord. You might have to head a little bit farther north for that. Although you're getting up there, so you might start seeing more of him soon.
Well then, I don't have enough money for plate mail, do I?
It's 1,500.
Well, No, I don't. I'm gonna buy 50 gold worth of incense. That's what I want to do, or look for a place where I can buy 50 gold worth of incense.
I would say fairly easy enough. Yeah, you can find a place that'll sell you that. And yeah, I'd say no problem. You can get some incense. There's a dwarf there at some shop who's got all sorts of different it's a little bit of like almost like an herbalist shop, but he's also got some incenses and things like that, and he's more than happy to help you out, and so you can get 50 gold worth, probably more than he's used to most people buying, so you get a couple weird looks, but yeah, no problem. He's not gonna argue. Right. So, Crane.
Uh-huh.
Back at the shop, this little gnome comes back out, and she's got in her hands this sheath, this scabbard, with some sort of blade inside.
Two of them, so I'm gonna have two more.
Two more.
So I've got 4 now, because I come with 2 of them in my adventurous pack, and I haven't really used them.
Okay.
Used it, so
Sure, that's fine.
2 blocks.
No problem. Anyway, so yeah, she comes out with this relatively. I mean, it's a relatively small weapon, a little bit bigger than a dagger, but not like a long sword. And she kind of pops back up to the counter, places it down. You can see it's got a little bit of like silver scrawling across the scabbard of it, and she's like, "Oh, right," and she's like, "Well, this was dropped off a little while ago by a halfling. I don't know. I mean, it's a little small, but you can take a look at it if you like."
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll grab it.
So you grab it.
Yeah.
You pull the blade, and as you do, it is a very, very finely made blade. And as you kind of move it a little bit, and she kind of like just it reflexively ducks, like, "Oh, hey, watch where you're swinging that." And she, and you look at it, and it is very finely made. It doesn't have like there's no like little flames burst off of it. It doesn't leave any crazy trails in the air or anything like that. But something about it is this is more than just your average sword. So
I'm gonna sheath it and turn to her and be like, "Do you know what it does?"
she's just like, well, it appears that, at the very least, it's a very nice blade. And it seems to be ever so slightly enchanted. So it is a magical weapon, and it should help you out a little bit more than, say, your average, short sword.
It's a +1.
Are there any markings on it, or are there any runes in Dwarvish?
Looking at it, it seems like it's mostly nondescript, besides just like, again, being just very finely made.
Okay.
The scabbard's got, like I said, a little bit of the silver scrawling on it. It's got kind of like some leaves and like vines that are kind of swirling around it and around the edges.
I assume it's elvish.
Roll a history. It's probably history.
8.
Okay. It looks really nice. You couldn't say where it comes from, but But
I mean, I'm gonna turn and be like, "Well, how much for it?"
and she kind of like looks up at you and says, "Oh, you want that? I mean, okay, I don't know, it just seems a little small for you, I suppose, but yeah, sure. And she's like, give me just a second. And she kind of takes out this book, begins to kind of flip through it, kind of like licks her thumb, kind of, let's see here.
Say Venture's Guide on side.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything on it. Screw you. But anyway, she kind of looks up at you and she goes, let's see here. Magical weapons aren't necessarily the most common thing, but at the same time, it's not. I mean, I don't know if you're gonna go slaying any dragons with it, but you know. And she kind of looks up at you, looks down at her book, goes, tell you what, I'll give that to you for 1,300 gold.
That's a little pricey.
I mean, have you found any other magical weapons?
Actually, yes, but they
Huh.
didn't really suit my style.
Well, I mean, just kind of like, she's, as you're standing there, she kind of like reaches out and tries to like squeeze your arm a little bit. And she's like, okay, no, I can understand that.
I have all of them, right? Like everything we've done.
Pretty much.
It's like,
Just
well, then let's talk business. How much were you thinking?
Well, I've got a gem that's worth 500.
May I see it?
Yeah, and I'll take it out and hand it to her.
Sure. She picks it and she looks at it. She's like, ooh, it's pretty. She kind of looks over it. See her kind of like tap on it with her finger a little bit. I'll look around. Oddly enough, you get the feeling she might not know what she's looking for, but she's just like, okay, this seems nice. She places it down on the counter. Yeah, it's like the people who open up the hood of a car, like the people who open up the hood of a car whenever they're like going to buy it, and they just go, yep, that's the car engine, and shut it. Yeah, that's basically what just happened. She knows it's pretty. She knows it's big. Probably worth something. She's like, okay, so.
And unfortunately, all I've got in my pockets is 500.
This and 500 gold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd be willing to make that deal.
All right, I'll pull out 500 gold.
Sure. Yep. And she pulls it on over and then takes the blade and slaps it down right in front of you and goes, well, I appreciate your business. You enjoy that.
Yeah, will do.
You now have a +1 short sword.
Okay. Yeah, I turn around and walk back. I'm just kind of cringing, like when I step like, oh, that's the first time I paid full price.
Yeah, you
Full
didn't have your connections to help you out on that one. So yeah, you now have a +1 short sword.
Cool.
Next is your freaking
Does it also glow?
natural 20.
Giants are near.
No, it is not Sting. Sting would be a +2 at least. Come on now.
He's got a point.
Hardly, dude. What did Sting? Wait, like really? Though, like
Sting was a pretty good
Sting, dude, that was,
blade.
like special.
It
Yeah,
didn't.
it was a-
the only
it was
thing
a
it was
nice blade.
enchanted. It was enchanted just basically to glow. And
I mean, you don't know, all right?
when
freaking-
orcs are near,
It Shrek'd all sorts of stuff, all right, man? Freaking-
so did other.
Yeah, like, I'm not sure, like, if Sting like cut through anything special, like in any of the movies.
Yeah.
Where it's just like,
Well,
man,
dude,
it's good thing he had Sting there.
The fucking spider bitch with it?
Shelob?
Yeah.
It's a spider. It's not like a
Yeah.
like.
Well, Shelob wasn't just a spider. She was a bit more.
She's a really powerful ancient.
I don't. Did they just drive her off? I don't know if they actually killed her. I don't think they did.
No, they killed
Anyway.
her because in the Shadow Motor, she foresaw her death at Frodo.
Well, then there you have it. But anyway, so there you have it. Malachi's got incense. Crane's got himself a shiny new blade. Ethan is disappointed there's no body store.
I'm now poor, so grave robbing is like. Even
Yarrell and Moyer, what are you, what you looking for?
I have a +8 to
like
hit
an
the
inn.
short sword.
You know, just a place to stay.
Okay, looking for an inn?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that can be done. I mean, it's still some time before you need to sleep, but...
Yeah, I mean, this
You-
is a.
You also know that the place you were sent to find, Danavar's house, is an inn. Just so happens.
Oh, okay.
So, you can be looking on the lookout for that.
Yeah, I'll probably look around for that in that case. Just so. You know,
Anything
I
in
know
particular, Moyer, or are you just kind of hanging out doing whatever?
Figure I'd be looking at storefronts and for Danavar's house. Yeah.
Sure. So, Yarrell and Moyer roll investigation checks for me.
That's a d20. And that's a natural 20.
18.
All right. Yeah, between the two of you, within a very, very short amount of time, you kind of pass through. You see some of these beautiful parks that are kind of by the riverside. There's a few benches that have been crafted and placed there. A few trees within the city, kind of quiet little oases of sorts away from most of the busier parts of town. And eventually you stumble across this well-kept, fine-looking building, and across the top it says Danavar's. A little sign hanging there.
I don't know.
So, within very short
There it
order.
is.
You gather up everybody and bring them there?
Yeah.
Whatever you guys
trying
wanna do.
I'm fine with this. Trying to find everyone else.
Sure.
And then,
Take a little bit of time. Let's say you all gather back up again. Some of you have some new stuff, and some of you have some information. One of you is just disappointed.
same.
It's me, because I'm poor now.
Because I'm poor now.
Imagine being poor. Oh boy. Sorry.
So you all meet up again. You
Go
find
on
your
the-
group. I'm assuming you're telling them about the place.
Yeah, me. Moyer and I found Danavar's place.
Okay.
Did you?
Who has the symbol?
I think. Malachi had badge?
For the door?
It's
No,
not
for-
me. I have the letter for the dwarves. I don't
Uh,
have
The badge
there's
that
a
the-
platinum badge was given by Darathra to somebody.
Someone
That.
has it. Got it.
Does
I
anybody
don't have that.
anybody
I
have it
already
written
did.
down on their inventory? In their notes, maybe?
If I maybe had it, I don't know because my notes got erased.
It's
So,
also true, yeah. That's also true.
but unlikely that I have.
Yeah, no, you probably don't get too close to people if you don't have to.
yeah, all I have is the letter. I did not.
Alright, yeah, one of you
Let's go back. boys.
after fumbling around and a
Quick,
little
go through the VODs.
and a little bit of panic, I was like,
This
wait,
is why we need a bag of holding.
who
because
has
it's
it?
also a bag of where the heck did we put that shit?
and eventually after scrambling through your stuff and kind of sifting through, eventually it's found in Moyer's bag.
Hey,
Yeah.
Hey.
You mean this whole thing?
Yeah. A little bit of a
Wait.
stomach drop kind of moment, but you got
It's fine. We're okay.
it. Freaking.
I specifically didn't
Responsible.
take that because if I got searched by his interim, might not.
All right, so you
Responsible adventurers. By the way.
guys make your way over to Danavar's and with your platinum badge that you've been given, and you definitely took really good care of. You knew where it was at all times. Didn't forget about it at all.
Never escaped my watchful eye.
I have it, so you know.
Can
Yeah.
confirm.
So you find your way to Danavar's. Walking inside, let me pull that up real quick. There's a fairly a nice but fairly standard. Fairly standard. There's a bar. And behind the bar, you see a half-orc. It seems like in this particular town, now that you guys have seen a gnome, you saw a dwarf, now a half-orc, it seems like there's a lot more diversity here than some of the other places that you've seen in the
More
past.
diversity, but no Goliaths.
Not yet. Not yet.
Oh, no. I don't like the sound of that. No.
But anyway, so as you all walk in, this half orc kind of looks up to all of you, and you actually see that he's only got one eye. He doesn't have some fancy eye patch with any sort of, organization logos on it or anything like that.
They all hang out.
No, it's just the eyes just kind of permanently shut. And he looks at all of you and says, "Well, hello there. What can I do for ya?" Can I get you a drink?
Hello, are you
Uh,
Denver?
Ah, no. Whoever Denver was, he died a long time ago. Now that name just kind of stuck over time. My name's Drow. Drolthalev. Nice to meet you.
Hello, Drow. I was supposed to show this to you. I'm gonna pull out the platinum badge.
Okay, so he's like, "Oh, can I see that for a second?"
Yeah.
Okay. He guy takes it, looks up close, and he's like, "Ah, interesting. This is from Darathra, isn't it? Over at old podunk town of Tribor."
Yes, she wanted us to inform you that the giants have started appearing more westward. In fact, some fire giants attacked Tribor maybe a couple days
His
ago.
brow kind of furrows a little bit. At this point, I think it's been almost a week since Tribor.
Yeah,
I'd have to go back and check, but I think it's been almost a week.
yeah, that sounds
um,
right.
And so
It's been a while.
his brow kind of furrows a little bit, and he's just like, "All the way to Tribor, eh?" He's like, I heard they'd been having some issues, but not that far west. That's well, I know a few people that might be interested in that information. And
The giants were looking for something.
were they?
Parts of a weapon.
It seemed
Oh?
like it.
We talking? They're looking for a giant axe buried in the ground? Like, what are we talking about here?
More like, where is it?
Part of a very powerful weapon.
Bonendard.
The phone and what?
it-
I don't think I've ever heard of this before.
Like an
It's some-
ancient piece of a relic that
it's like
they
an
can
ornament.
use to, or that of a weapon, or something like that.
So
They use
some
it to-
chunk of some giant-sized weapon. Well, that doesn't sound terrifying at all. Right.
It could be something about the power structure of the giants.
Yeah, I've been more active recently. I've been a little curious myself. Well, tell you what. I appreciate you bringing me this information. I will make sure the appropriate figures are told about this. Here. As a call it a reward. Come, have a seat. And he gestures to a line of stools there in front of you. There's one of them still occupied by kind of this bleary-eyed human, and he's like, "Hey, it's like midday, all right? Freaking get your life together, man. Come on." And the other guy's just like, "What do you know?" And he's just like, "I know your wife wouldn't be very happy to know that you're here already plastered, so go on now." And he's just like, "Ugh." And he just kind of like mumbles something, stumbles out the doorway.
Yikes.
And he's just like, he's an alright guy, but I worry about him. Anyway, right, yeah, have a seat. And then, he kind of goes, and most it seems like you've managed to catch it at a time where, besides this one guy getting drunk in the middle of the day, not too much is happening. So he kind of goes over to the door, the front door, and kind of just like flips a lock real quick, and then comes back to the bar.
I am suspicious.
Yeah. Okay. And he starts setting out. He sets out glasses, one for each of you.
Fact.
And he kind of from the bottom pulls out this bottle, not too large, and it's got a very fancy label on it. The glass itself looks like a work of art, and he's just like, what we got here is the finest elven wine. So, here, have some. And he begins to pour out one glass for each of you, a little small glass. And he's like, you've done a great deed. Kind of corks it back up and places it underneath the desk. He's done a great deed for the Harpers. As he kind of looks around, still doesn't see anybody in it because locked the door, but just forced to have it. He's like, so, have a drink.
I am extremely untrustworthy.
I'm casting protection from poison on myself, and then I will have a drink.
I drink it.
So he sees
Still
you
working
begin
on
to
it.
cast something on yourself, and he's just like, not the trusting type, I see. Very well.
No.
And then, yeah, Ethan.
Just like put it through my face, like my face mask, like.
Okay,
that
yeah,
I'm
you
wearing.
just
Like,
slap it, and so you don't taste anything, and the liquid kind of just trickles down through the bone structure and
This is
everything.
nice.
And then
That's great. Thanks.
all of a sudden, Ethan's gone.
What the fuck? Oh no.
I mean, I
You
was
look,
going
you look over at the chair where he's at, and Ethan's just gone. What was that, Malachi?
I was like, I casted it and started drinking too.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
I was not, you
Mhm.
know.
Look over at Malachi. Malachi's gone.
Dad?
Alright, where am I?
We'll get to you in a second. And so yeah, the rest of you are now.
Poison. I didn't
the-
get teleported by poison.
The three of you are now there. It appears
confirm. Wasn't
that Ethan and Malachi have disappeared.
I'm gonna touch the air.
It wasn't
with it.
poisoned though.
Yeah, you touch the air. Nothing there. He's not invisible. He's gone.
I pull my
Listen,
short
man,
sword. My
I
new
can't
one.
get poisoned.
And
Neither can
Dra-
I.
Droll kind of looks at you and he goes,
I've been had.
"Oh, it's always great to see the reaction. I apologize. Not many come through that I get to do this for. It's a little guilty pleasure of mine." He's like, "Here's the deal. Your friends have been teleported. It's actually on the other side of town, but for the sake of making sure no one gets followed, this is how we do it. But they're over at a little tower. It's a bit of a headquarters spot for the Harpers. There'll be an Archmage you'll meet there. He's an alright sort. And he's gonna help you out, and I imagine set you up with a new way of travel. Something a little similar to this, except doesn't require a drink, unfortunately."
Yeah, I'll sheathe my blade, and I'm like, to avoid future confrontation, it may be a wiser idea to tell someone.
Honestly, the higher-ups have given me crap about this before, but
If I were in your situation,
Aw.
it would probably be fucking hilarious. But
it's,
you
it's
gave me
pretty
10
good.
seconds of being terrified.
Well, enjoy your trip. The wine is good.
Oh. Well,
All right, Moyer, you take a drink.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, yeah. and then just one by one, just.
And the party's dead. Let's go.
Next campaign. You're all
Centaur!
enjoy your time in the 9 hells, sucker.
Wait a minute, I didn't. Wait a minute. I
Joke's
didn't
on
sell my
him.
soul-
I'm already dead.
So
I didn't sell my
anyway,
soul to save
We
my
were
soul,
just
but I sold
teleported
it
to the
the
center of the
world.
sun.
right.
All
So,
right.
Ethan,
Might as well be walking in the sun, dude.
Whoa.
yeah, you go to take a drink,
Uh-huh.
and then, yeah, you don't feel anything, but then all of a sudden you feel like this weird jolt, almost like, I don't know, like, it's hard to describe because how would this affect somebody who doesn't have normal organs and everything like that? Just a jolt. You just kind of, it rattles your bones. Yeah, just some sort of jolt, just like a strange sensation, and
Shivers down my spine.
sure.
Is
You
this
find
supposed to be bad for
yourself
other
in this
people, though?
strange, like, parlor of sorts. The glass still in your hand.
Is there a
Okay.
glider that says welcome?
And
I'm instantly dropping the glass. Just like, girl?
And you kind of turn, and
Malachi?
shortly after, Malachi is right there with you.
Alright.
Malachi.
I'm already on the ground in the fetal position.
But
It's been
I
a
pop in,
few
I'm like,
seconds.
why couldn't it have just been poison? Damn it.
Yeah, you look around,
Just a voice, I
and
couldn't.
there's this strange sort of parlor thing. On the ground beneath you, you see there's this ring with some like a circle carved into it with some magical arcane runes and things like that.
Some could say the circle you teleport in.
Yeah, you could
Therefore, teleportation
you
circle.
could say.
Did you say that? I don't know. You're not really. No, are you?
So anyway, right, yeah. So that's where you all are at. The rest of you follow shortly after, and
I need to have a conversation.
yeah. So you two are there shortly after. The next three just all of you similar
Thank God
similar
it's playing us. We
sensation.
finally got away from
You
Now-
feel.
the Thunder Bros can begin their adventure.
Finally, and then everybody else shows up.
Wow, Hunter,
You're breaking up.
you're a double robot right now. You're like just trying to RP, but you're RPing a Warforged.
That's the new term. He's RPing a Warforged.
Beep, boop, boop, beep, fuck,
You're good.
turret.
You're good.
I think
You're
he's
good
back.
now.
I think he's back.
Yeah, you're back.
No.
He's the skeleton again.
Speaking of being back, everybody else is there now with you. You all take the drink again. The wine it is a very fine wine. It's very smooth. Got little hints of like berries in there, and it's very pleasant. And then there's like this strange like sensation as like just a jolt, and it kind of just feels like you're just real quick, just like violently shifted from like a foot to the left or something, like or in a, like some direction. It's very violent, very short lived, and then just poof, you're somewhere else.
It's like getting hit by a car, but nicer.
Except you don't fly; you just only move like a foot.
Except this foot is
And
also
without the
in
blood trauma.
building.
So, you are all now in this some sort of building. Lots of the floor and the walls are made of stone. There's some. You see bookshelves, some other furniture, and as you're all kind of looking around, maybe a little bewildered, you see a. Let's see. Oh, right. So there's actually a. Hang on, let me look these up real quick. So there are little creatures inside of the. As you kind of take up some time to look around, there's actually some creatures inside of this little parlor here. Up on some of the bookshelves, there's these. They just look like cats, except they have wings. Yeah, they kind of look like some of them, like you guys see like a tabby cat with some like hawk-like looking wings, where you see another one that's kind of a gray with these like kind of eagle wings.
I'm
And,
going. I want to grab one.
Well, they're a little out of your reach. They don't immediately like they kind of lazily look over in your direction, but so you can kind of you can run over and try to like hop up to get one.
Yes, I'm like jumping, like trying to grab one.
Yeah, it kind of like hops off and then flies. And then actually finds a different, like, higher perch kind of up in this little rafter. As it just kind of, like, stares down at you.
Maybe it's just nervous, Ethan. It'll warm up to you.
Yeah, you're tall.
And then, shortly after, you
That
hear...
Make me nervous.
Yeah.
I'm a
sure.
wolf person.
Yeah.
As you know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was about... He's a dog person, you know.
I'm a dog person.
So, shortly after, you see this, you hear a little, like, tap, tap, tap of, like, a little piece of wood or something as from down the stairs on the side, you kind of see this, this old, like, wizard come walking in. He's wearing simple clothes, but fine. They're very finely made, and he's got a little bit. He's mostly bald on the top of his head, with a little bit of hair still left, kind of around the edges. Kind of one of those situations where it'd probably look better if he just shaved bald, but he's hanging on to it. And then a little bit of this wispy, mostly white mustache. And he kind of looks to all of you. He's like, "Oh, hello there. I wasn't expecting visitors. Kind of looks like
We weren't expecting to visit.
Oh, that explains why I don't recognize you. Did Droll send you here?
Yeah. I thought it would be poisoned, but then it turned out to be not that.
Where'd you get your kitties?
I keep telling him to not. Anyway, I'll have a chat with him. And then he kind of turns to Ethan. He looks, and then he says, "Oh, the Tressum, you mean?" And he kind of looks up. It's just like, there's what? Where's the other one? I had two. Where he's looking at. They're very easy to lose track of. And he kind of looks up and he sees the one up in the rafter, and he's just like, "You get down from there! How many times do I have to tell you?" And he's sitting there like shouting at it, and the thing's just kind of boringly like looking at him, like not impressed at all. And he's just like, they're little. What can I do for you? Wait a second. And he goes like, "Oh, pardon me, that's right, you didn't expect to be here. So, I guess a better way to say this was, who sent you? Besides, Droll, of course, he's...
Specifically, Darathra.
Darathra. Oh, of course, the Lord Protector herself. How has she been?
She's been better since the fire giants kind of wrecked her town not too long ago.
Oh, the giants made it that far, have they? Well, that's
Mostly
not
dealt
good.
with them, though.
Oh, well, did you? I'm impressed. Well
Killed
then,
one, left one with horrible scars.
well, I would watch out then. You know, an angry fire giant sounds like quite the formidable opponent. Right. So you've been sent here by Darathra, that I see. Perfect. Well, welcome to Moongleam Tower. This is a Harper base of sorts, and well, since you've been sent here, I believe that means you're qualified to access it in all of its capabilities. So, first, allow me to go retrieve something. I believe something that'll help you in your journeys. So he kind of shuffles off to a little side room. You hear a little bit of rustling going on in the other room. It sounds like a chest opening. Something kind of gets knocked over, and he's just, curses. And then he comes back out, and he's got this wooden box, fairly sizable. It's like probably about like a foot across and a couple feet long. And it's got kind of this lid that kind of spins off the top of it. And so he opens it up and he hands it over to whichever of you wants to take it. And he's just like,
I'll take it.
all right. Well, I mean, he looks more like the kind of pointing over to Ethan with his staff, saying he looks like more of the spellcasting type. But split those up how you wish. And you look in, and there's 6 different compartments inside of this box, and each one of them has a scroll.
Could you say there's a scroll of fireball?
There is not.
I'm just gonna turn on my heel and be like, hold it
Right.
out.
Right. So, Ethan, you have this box in front of you full of spell scrolls.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna take them out and examine them.
Okay. So you kind of like set the box down and start drawing them out, like pulling them out and examining them.
Mm-hmm.
And while he's watching, while this individual's watching, he says, "Oh, pardon me, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Crowan. Crowan Valharo. It's a pleasure to meet all of you. I take care of this here tower and send its occupants to all sorts of different places. Whoever needs the help." So,
Pleasure to meet you.
a pleasure to meet you as well. Might I know your names?
I should introduce myself as Yao.
Yeah, everybody just go through do the introductions. Ethan might be a little distracted.
Zeph would have been so excited.
So, right, inside here are the spells. Each one's a spell scroll. You have Dispel Magic. You have a scroll of Magic Weapon. You have a scroll of Sending. A scroll of Tongues.
Ew.
A scroll of Water Breathing.
Well, that's worthless.
And a spell scroll of Fly.
Why?
Wow.
Yeah.
Full.
These are...
See now, if I
Utility spells.
do,
That's really good because it's a bunch of utility spells that you normally wouldn't take, like, ever. Unless you're free ones, but...
So, those are the scrolls available to you. You will, you take some time, you work your way through them, you can figure out what they are.
Wait, you know how...
Or if there's any that
can
conf- do it.
fly his whole army?
Damn. Any that you might be confused on, you're not sure quite what it is. The mage is more than happy. The wizard's more than happy to help you out. So those are the spell scrolls given to you. It will take time and some money to get all of that written down. The resources required for it, you could definitely find here in the town. So if you want to get like I said, the resources to like the inks and all of the different components that are used up while converting it from the scroll to whatever your personal magical shorthand is in your spellbook, all of those resources can be found here in the city. So I'm just going to say however much money you're going to need to write down whatever ones you want, it's available to you.
just don't know.
So he says, "Well, now, I believe it's time I take you to the teleportation room. And he leads you down some stairs, and you find yourself into the circular room. It appears that this is, he says, it's Moongleam Tower, and the whole thing's pretty circular in shape. And he leads you to a room that has a number of circles. To be exact, there are 6 different teleportation circles, and each one has got a different it's got a slightly different looking teleportation circle. Like the sigil in the center, all of them look a little bit different. He's like, well, you may want to write this down or something like that. There's a number of places that we can transport you to from here. Well, I guess there's 5 circles because it's counting the place that you're at. So 5 circles. He's like, well, you right now you are here in Everland. This is Moongleam Tower. All of the places and he kind of gestures to all of the circles. He says, all of the places lead back here, and then from here you can be sent to another place. But we have first off, he gestures to a circle. This is the teleportation circle to Loudwater. This will put you out in a little tavern called the Smiling Satyr. And so if we pull up the maps, so Loudwater, I believe, is to the south. Where is Loudwater at?
Just under the forest.
Just under... Yes, okay, so it's south of the High Forest. Fairly far east. But, yeah. So southeast-ish. Kind of the very southern tip of the High Forest. He gestures to another one. He says, that one there is a Mirabar. That one will spit you out at a little stable. A lot of these places are, well hidden. You don't always want people knowing about them. Mirabar is actually very far to the north, northwestish. Not that far from Malachi's old stomping grounds, actually. It's kind of south of this long mountain range called the Spine of the World. And then just north of that is this massive glacier named Reged Glacier.
Yeah, my eyes light up a little bit when he says that one.
So it's like, so I can send you there. This one here will take you to an attic of a 3-story house in Neverwinter, which is where all of your journey started, which is over on the west coast. Still on the northern half of the Sword Coast, but yeah, kind of right there, oceanside. It says this one will spit you out at a little crypt inside of the Waterdeep Cemetery. Waterdeep being along that same coast, except much more south than Neverwinter. So there's that one, and then and finally we have this one here is a little villa that's owned by the Harpers. It's got a little bit of an illusion spell masking the whole thing. This one here is Yartar. Yartar is kind of like a bit of a center point between all of these. You guys actually passed over it, coming from Tribor over to Noanar's Hold. So Everland, Yartar, Loudwater, Mirabar, Neverwinter, and Waterdeep. Those are all places you have access to with teleportation circles. So you can travel a long way in a very short time.
Do we have to be able to cast teleportation circle, or is there like an attendant that will help us?
And he's just like, no, I can do that for you. Or any of the members at these circles, there'll be someone there who can send you. The Harpers have a use for fast travel across the land, and well, not all of them are the arcane inclined.
Well, that's very. I mean, I know we helped Tribor, but that's very generous of you to give us access to this.
Well, you all are. Well, I don't know if you're necessarily members of the Harpers, but you have some sort of excuse you. And then he turns again.
You went very Cloud Giant there, Caleb. Just.
I might have gotten a little Zephyros in there.
Yeah.
Listen, I only have so many old men voices. All right, let's sue me. But anyway, he's just like, well, yeah. So that's what we have available to you. Would you like to utilize any of these teleportation circles now, or do you have other things to do?
Before we go any further, I'd like to speak with you privately.
He kind of quizzically looks at you, looks away from these others.
Yeah.
Very well. He kind of turns to the group. Well, if you don't mind, I suppose the young man here wants to talk about something. The parlor upstairs is free to you. You might be able to get one of the Tresem to come down. They don't like new people too much, but who knows? So unless anybody is opposed, you head up to the parlor.
Yeah.
Okay. So you find your way back into the familiar room. The wizard turns back to turns back to Crane, and he's just like, well, they're your friends, aren't they? I don't know what you'd want to hide from them.
Before we go any further, I think there's something we should clear up
All right.
to avoid future misunderstandings. I'm a member of the Zentarum, and I understand that our organizations have not been very friendly with each other.
He gets kind of a stern look on his face as you say this, and he kind of looks at you. He's just like, well, no, it's not. We don't have the best of relationships, no, but well, I'm not the one who decides who uses this tower. I merely care for it and send and receive the people who use it. There are not any open confrontations between our two organizations, and as far as I can tell, well, even more so than we knew before, the giants are becoming more and more of a problem. Matter of fact,
Seems you're more interested in fixing that than the Zentarum.
oh, I have a feeling even the Zentarum will be looking to protect their own assets. So, I believe that in this time that we could put aside those differences and maybe do something about all of this that's been going on recently. I do appreciate your forthrightness. I hate to assume anything or play stereotypes, but honesty from a Black Network member, that's seems well, it's a pleasant surprise.
Well, help me kill giants and we'll say it's fair.
Well, I don't know about helping you slay a giant, but I can send you many hundreds of miles within an instant.
That'll have to do.
I thought you might like that.
Well,
Shall we return to your friends?
yep.
Okay. So the Crowan and Crane come back, and you're all back together. And he says, "Well, like I said, if you have need of the teleportation circles, those are available to you. Feel free to access Moongleam Tower whenever you have need of it.
What city are we in right now, by the way?
You're in
We're
Everland.
Everland.
Yes.
Oh, okay, we're in Everland, okay.
Yeah.
We're actually really far north.
Yeah, you're getting there. You're getting pretty up there.
Yeah, kind of.
The weather is definitely getting colder.
You mean more comfortable, more bearable?
Oh yeah, as just gradually as you're heading north, Malachi is just
Less sweaty.
yeah, just looking better and better. Like,
That explains why you were like, oh, there might be Goliaths around, because we're not actually that far out of the mountains.
yeah. So, all right. Is there anything else the group would like to do here? Like, is there anywhere you guys want to be sent to, teleportation wise, or are you
Talked about that.
heading out?
We still need to go to Silver Citadel.
What are we doing in Silvery Moon?
Stealing from from the worshippers, or what specific?
Those damn devil worshippers.
Asmodeus worshippers.
Wow, if we're going to Silvery Moon, like, that's almost just as close to the spine as Mirabar is. Well, kind of. It depends on where you want to be in the spine. It's the wrong part of the spine.
It's just like, well, if you have business in Silvery Moon, I mean, it's not far of a travel back here. I mean, I can send you where you'd like to go any day. This is an open invitation, so it's not like you have to take us up on it right now. And should you have need of this place again, it will be available to you.
Well, I for one
So you said
would like
you have
to attain
you have
wealth.
people in Mirabar, right? That's one of the locations you
Yes, we can send you there.
Well, I mean, for now, I just wanted to know, like, have you heard anything from Mirabar? Is there anything going on there?
Let me tell you what. I'm gonna go check something, and he kind of goes over to the bookshelf and kind of starts searching through, kind of talking to you as he does. He's just like, well, my memory's not what it used to be, so I tend to keep a journal of all sorts of the different happenings. I believe there's one in here for Mirabar.
Does this DM speak for finding the page?
Oh yeah, that's exactly what's happening. I'll keep it 100 with you, Chief. There's a lot of places in this book.
Yeah, let's.
This an old man. He keeps a journal.
He knows his studies.
Yeah, he keeps a journal. Let's see.
Page is even numbered.
All right. I was just like, well, let's see. What can I tell you about Mirabar? Well, I mean, Mirabar was a dwarven city. The dwarves still live there, but oddly enough, you probably won't see much of them if you visit. They all live underground. It's almost a city on top of a city, if you will. Whereas the one that you'll have easier access to is mostly inhabited by humans and a few other types. As for things going on there, I mean, as of late, I mean, it's a pretty well fortified city, and it doesn't appear that too much has been happening there as of late. I'm sorry I don't have more interesting information, but at the same time, I suppose no news is good news.
I would think so. I passed through there. I guess it was actually some time ago now, but actually closer to Raven Rock.
So,
But I don't know. Just bringing up that when you brought up that name, it brought up some nagging thoughts. I guess we have business here for now, though.
very well. If you ever like to go, just come contact me. We can get you there in a hurry. So, he then leads you to the doorway out, which is reinforced heavily. Lots and lots of locks on this thing with a very large, like, beam reinforcing the door. The door itself, hammered metal reinforcing the hinges and everything. It would be a hard door to get through. For obvious reasons. This is a pretty important place to them. So, but he unlocks it. He lets you out. And as you all step outside, he's like, well, I look forward to seeing you soon. Personally, I find teleportation fun, and I hope you do as well. Hopefully this time with a bit more warning. I will have to talk to Drell. He's a difficult one.
He wasn't really out to hurt us. So that's all.
To be fair, if I were in his shoes, I'd probably be doing the same thing.
Well, maybe well, never mind. He was totally gonna say something about maybe the Harpers and Black Network aren't so different after all, and then he remembered he wasn't supposed. That was a secret, and he wasn't supposed to say that.
Wait a minute.
But anyway, so you are all let back out into the street. You now know which part of the town that this tower is. Back out into the busyness of the street. Many people.
That being said, we might procure some of that wine if it's might make our escape from Silvery Moon easier, if you know what I mean. I might be thinking like a crook now, but
That is fair, actually. That's like a really good idea. Like, that's the oh shit button, as we officially call it.
yes.
So, but you guys have access to the town once again.
What time is it, Button?
By this point, it is probably I would say 2-3 o'clock or so. It's not terribly late in the day. Right now you're kind of on the northern side of town, kind of a little bit northwestish part of town as you come back out. The market is just a few blocks down the street in the center of town. Yeah. There's
I've blown all my shopping money. So I would like to find a contact, but I have no fucking idea. Should have asked the wizard.
Hey, you know, by
So,
chance, can I
roll
sometimes-
actually Crane, roll a history check for me real quick.
14.
Okay. What you know is, so you just walked out of a Harper base. And meaning the Harpers have a fairly strong presence here. That doesn't mean that you wouldn't have a network contact here, but that means they're going to be extra hard to find if they are here. Just because they don't step on each other's toes, or at least they try not to, or if they do, they try to do so secretly. So, yeah. So you know that there's probably not a whole lot of presence here, and if it is, it's going to be hard to find.
Yeah, okay, so fuck that. I'll just fuck it.
So?
Pickpocketing isn't a very good way to make money, so
I guess it depends on what kind of neighborhood you're in, man.
Wait,
Anybody dumb enough to carry around large amounts of, jingly coin? Who knows? But, right, so, you have...
some goodies though.
You have the town. You have, if you wanted a place to stay, you know where One Inn is. You have Silvery Moon up to the north. It's like a straight shot to it.
How
Could we
far
get
is
there,
along the
like,
road.
by the end of the day?
It's probably, you wouldn't get there by the end of the day. You're probably looking at about maybe
Day the next day.
a full day of travel,
Okay.
maybe a day and a
We'd get, like-
half even.
Yeah. So we'd get
So-
like half a day's worth.
You could get a little bit of the way there. Also, so Yarol,
Yes.
I'm gonna say you're probably at the very least a little bit familiar with the town of Everland. Like, I don't like, you know of it. I don't know if like you know like all the streets and everything.
Yeah, I'm not.
but-
That's
but
not my home, but it's not
There
exactly
is
far
so
either.
along the Ravin River that heads east. There's what's called the Ravin Road, and that is a straight shot to Jalanthar.
Right.
That would be probably in the neighborhood of a 2 or 3 day journey.
Okay.
But you kind of do, as you kind of gaze out, as there's a road heading east, and there's a gateway there that exits the city. You do look out in that direction, and you know that's where that's at. So, alrighty. What would the group like to do?
I'll take a stroll through the market
Okay.
and I'll cast detect magic on myself.
Alrighty. So you're gonna go look through the market. Pretty decent sized. All sorts of different merchants that are set up there. Some of them within like permanent buildings around the side. You imagine that those storefronts are probably pretty expensive since they're in a pretty desirable part of town. A few of them have kind of a bazaar setup almost. You gaze through, you see all sorts of different things, pottery, different types of food being sold, all sorts of different goods, some furs, some silk. And so you have detect magic on.
Hey,
Okay.
hey.
Tell you what. Roll a d10 for me.
That is a 5.
A 5. Okay. Alrighty. And then roll a d6 for me.
That's another 5.
Another 5. Okay.
Shorty Schwo, 55.
Pull up something real quick.
So, question:
No,
the
it's not-
spine. Can you see the spine from Everland, or is it like too far away, like the mountains in the distance?
I would say it's probably a little too far away just yet. Probably fairly soon though. You head a little bit more north and
No, I'm just curious.
but not, I would say not quite yet. Alrighty. Okay, so you're glancing through Moyer, and you come to a tent that's got all sorts of different like little bottles with all sorts of different all sorts of different liquids in them, some salves, bombs, things of that nature. You do see one little tube, and inside of it, it's got kind of this strange milky liquid. Yeah, it's got a faint magical glow to it.
Can I tell what school of magic it is?
I don't know if it's got a school of magic.
Yeah, I'll pick it up and go to the shopkeeper.
Okay. You kind of take a look at it, and if you take a little sniff of it, it's got a very strong, like, alcohol kind of smell. And you take it up to the shopkeeper, and basically what they tell you is this is randomly rolled for. So you've got a liquid that will essentially dissolve any, like, up to like a square foot of any kind of like adhesive or anything that like sticks stuff together. It dissolve through it. Universal solvent. This is the thing that can undo sovereign glue. That's what you find. So any kind of like adhesive or something like that, this thing dissolves it. So
How much is it?
the funny thing is, it is a very it's like item rarity on this is like legendary, but it's not. I don't know if it's that useful to you. So this thing probably costs like a couple thousand gold if it's like legendary item rarity. At a couple thousand at least. So
Have that much.
alright, well,
So,
sorry.
fine.
I just like, I didn't, yeah, I'm gonna do better whenever we come to big towns. I'll start kind of setting out some things for you guys to look for, so I'll get better at that. So I just kind of randomly rolled for that one.
See, it would have been better if you gave us the glue.
It probably would have been better, yeah. So
Well, we couldn't afford it anyways, so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure there's somewhere where it's like how much is sovereign glue worth, but we'll see. I mean, I don't know if it's just a glue. If it's legendary, maybe it's not a couple. I don't know. This is the point where I realize just how uneducated I am. So next time, I'll do better.
I turned to the group that were still around. I'm like, I'd like to go back to the inn. I have something I need to do. And I kind of start walking back towards where I figure where the inn that we found the other guy.
Yeah, you can find your way back.
Yeah.
There's some bathrooms over there. You don't really gotta go to an inn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow because I want to talk to the innkeeper anyways.
Okay. So you guys find your way back to Danavar's house, and inside you see Drow, and he kind of
That was a great trick you pulled.
he looks up and he's just like, "See, you're fine."
Yeah, that's quite a powerful elixir you have.
Navi.
You know, might be better used for something other than just a trick, or is it a more specific thing?
It's just like, well, I mean, this is to get certain people to the tower when it's maybe being watched, or in certain scenarios where you know, you got the types who
Does it work from anywhere?
kind of thinks
You're not there, are you?
Yeah, I followed it.
Oh, okay.
kind of thinks for a moment, and he's just like, well, now, I'm no arcane type,
Okay.
but I've been told a little bit about this, and, well, it appears that, well, teleportation through, like, some sort of, like a drink, it's, it ain't easy, and, it takes a lot of work, a lot of money went into it, apparently, and it also is, short-ranged, if you will. It's gonna have a harder time
Shucks.
longer distances.
So a city or a couple miles? Or...
That'd be.
It's made for use within the city. I haven't tested it outside of that because I'm willing to push some boundaries, but even that would get me in some hot water that I'd be uncomfortable with.
Hey, well, we figured we'd give it an ask. We could use a few rooms for the night, by the way.
All right, yeah, no
All right.
problem.
What's that gonna run me?
Kinda,
Just for my own.
it's like, tell you what. We'll call, let's see, how many of you are there? And kind of looks around. So you got about five
One in the
rooms?
market. But Ethan doesn't need one, actually.
All right, so 4? All right, tell you what. We'll just call it 2 gold a room. Knock a little bit off the price as a little way of saying I'm sorry.
Alright, here's mine. I give it to him and I immediately head up the stairs, shut the door.
So as you're going up, he's just like, third one on your left.
Thank you.
And
Shut the door.
Yeah.
Sit down.
So you all have 2 silver. You can get a room. He's cutting you a little bit of a deal, just as like a.
Oh, 2 silver, get a room. Okay.
Yeah, just 2 silver. Did I say 2 gold?
Yeah.
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 I meant
I
2.
was like, damn.
I meant 2 silver.
Yeah, even I was like
I meant 2 silver.
that,
okay.
that's a
So I shut
discount.
the
Like,
door.
2 silver. My bad.
Yeah.
Apologize.
I let my incense burner.
Mm-hmm.
feel my gig.
Here we go.
Divination.
Uh-huh. We hitting it quick.
Yeah.
Got this spell 30 minutes ago. All right. What are
so
you
I
asking?
So I get ready to cast it,
Mhm.
and I go and check and make sure there's no one listening.
Let's see, a specific goal, event, or activity to
Yep.
occur within 7 days.
Yep.
Okay.
I go and check to see if there's anyone like paying attention.
Unless one of the party members are,
Yeah.
You're good.
No, like that's I'm making,
Yikes.
okay.
Yeah,
Hang on. Let me.
I'm staying downstairs even after I pay.
Okay.
okay. Just gonna hang out in the common area. You can get food and drinks and
Yeah.
Can I get some drinks that aren't enchanted?
yeah. He's just,
Yeah.
Draws
I
is like,
just wanna
oh, we
talk
got
about
plenty of those.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll
My
talk about
question.
it after.
Sure. We'll
My
go. We'll get to
question
that second.
is if we were to port to Mirabar and go and confront. God, I gotta find his name.
Big bad.
Bonehead.
Is it Isar?
I believe that was his name.
Oh.
I believe it was like Isar.
I pinned the message, so is it? Yeah, I think it's Isar. Let me jump to it actually. We were talking about other things.
So you know who.
Okay, I think it is. I think it's Isar. Okay. Yeah, if we were to port to Mirabar and confront Isar this week, would we stand a chance against him? That's my question.
Okay. Give me just a second. Checking the. Let's see.
My goal is to like oppose him. Is basically
Uh-huh.
that's-
Oh yeah. I get you entirely. With the divinations,
Mhm.
I would say wording is important, but I'm not going to actively try to screw you.
I hear you.
You're not a
Right.
GM.
So yes, the name of the individual in question is Isar Kronenstrom.
Mhm.
That's who you're looking for, and so you're
I speak
asking.
his name extra quietly, just to make sure, because I'm like kind of
Mhm.
iffy about it.
So your question is, if you were to go to teleport to Mirabar and confront him soon,
Yes, within the within the week.
Yeah.
Within the time period.
would it go well?
Would we be a match for him?
Would you be
Would
a
we be able
match?
to oppose him?
Would you be
Yeah.
a match for him? Let's see. And I'm trying to see how is it okay. with a god or a god's servant. Okay.
I'm literally. I'm asking Cord. I'm
gonna
Cord,
say yeah. This is you're a cleric
like,
of Cord.
I'm
This
like, Cord knows.
this is
Cord knows
going
exactly
this
who
is
this
going to
asshole is.
Cord.
Yeah. I'm like, is it Cord? Is it time? Like, can we do this?
So let me think about this for just a minute. Okay, so you sit down in your room. You hear a little bit of the din outside. You begin to set out some incense and you begin to light it. It's a fair amount, so very quickly the room fills with this fragrant smoke. Not unlike some of the stuff, yeah. Not unlike Yarol and some of the things Yarol's been known to do. And you did notice that while you were walking around outside, some clouds were coming, and they were kind of building. I mentioned that a little bit earlier, but I don't think I said too much about it. But there is a cloud front kind of coming in, and as you go to begin to meditate and to offer up this question, you do hear a little bit of a roll of thunder off in the distance. The silence, like the sound all around you, kind of starts to fade away to a silence as you kind of pass into this little meditative state. And you, like, for only the second time ever, you hear a voice, and it's the same voice you heard back when you fought the dragon. And it's, let me think about this. Okay. The voice says, "You have come far. You have grown strong. And I am by your side, just as Tempest is by his. You would pose a match. The battle would be hard fought. But you would stand."
Okay,
The voice,
that's what I got.
Yeah.
And then
the voice kind of fades away. The surrounding sound starts to come back to you. Your eyes open. You burn a little bit with some of the smoke. You're not used to burning all the incense and stuff, so. But yes, you were told that. Yes, you would stand a chance, and it would basically be a kind of a situation of a god's champion versus another god's champion.
right, cool. That's what I wanted to know.
Mm-hmm.
I get up with glorious purpose. Walk out the door, and I'm like, I come down to the room and I'm like, all right, we need to get this heist over with because we got other things to do.
Great.
Like everyone else, like just, this is the most like maybe motivated and most driven you've seen me, maybe.
Crane usually doesn't drink because he doesn't like to have his senses dulled. But he's red faced. He's sitting there, he's like turns like, what?
Talking about Citadel?
Did you go like clear your mind or something?
I just when our new friend mentioned Mirabar, it reminded me of the reason why I went to find friends, and I think it might be time to
Hey, I'm your friend.
I think it might be time to fight some old battles if you don't mind joining me.
Doesn't involve giants.
It's mostly a personal issue, so
Does it
maybe more
involve
people like me.
wealth?
There'd be lots of dead bodies. I look at Ethan.
Dead bodies have gold on them.
Potentially. I mean, they're much raiders.
Crane's a little tipsy.
I mean, I know we've got business ahead of time, but
Yep.
might be time to.
Whatever you want to do.
You've stood by my side, helped all of us out immensely, and I trust you, and I will do everything I can to help you in this endeavor.
Alright, well first, let's steal from some cultists. We can still do that, we're here anyway.
That is true.
How
But,
about we also steal from some other? Because I'm a little low on jingly juice.
Scumbag!
wait, aren't they the loaded ones? Like, that's the whole thing. We're gonna go steal from
Yeah,
them.
but they are.
Steal from the rich, give to the meek.
I mean, you are poor right now.
Exactly. Thanks, God.
All right. So, yeah, you all have rooms. You have good food, a wide variety of drink. I'm gonna say if anybody's partaking, a gold will get you plenty. Of whatever, of mostly whatever you want, unless you're getting something really fancy. But
Now, is it actually a
Doesn't
gold,
contain alcohol.
or
yes, a gold
Slang.
for everything. Unless, like I said, unless you just
So
really
we're
go
talking
nuts.
41.
Unless you, I mean, if you could get quite a bit for
Hey,
41
man.
gold.
F
I'm
me.
poor. Here's 41 gold for a beer.
I just handed him a gold sack and I'm just like, fuck me up.
It's just like, we've got beer that goes down smooth, or we got whiskey that can knock you on your ass.
My ass isn't very padded. You know.
I don't know. I get it. You're lightweight. That's fine. Not everybody's got the gift. But yeah,
After Crane purchases his
it does whatever
various
he
alcohols.
likes to get. Yeah.
I'm going to ask him if he knows anything about Jalanthar.
The drow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's
Because
just
I
like-
know Harper's probably don't have a huge his friends don't have a huge presence there, but still, it's
He's
not
like,
far.
cool, but they do have some sort of presence. And they are also a bit of they do have their own spy network and the like.
That's true.
He looks at you and he's like, personally, I know it was a mining town that kind of been through some stuff. I know I think the Zentarum had it for a bit, and they mined out the place, and then they left, and then bandits took over, which, if you ask me, might not be that much different. Yeah, and then some.
Bandits have gold.
They're bandits. That's like what they do. But
Right.
their bandit king, if you will, holed up there, and then he got offed or something, and then the place kind of became a ghost town.
Oh, that's so sad.
That's as far as I know. As for recent information, because I mean that happened like
A while ago.
it was about 100 years ago or something like that. I don't recall.
That's longer than I've been alive.
Your math is good.
That's up.
And it's just like you already want another there. I see that drink's getting a little low.
You know what? No.
Alright.
I'm going to bed. Because I know... Goodbye.
Good night.
Crane walks off. He's like, "Oh, most people don't know when to quit. I'm impressed.
The whole upstairs probably smells like incense right now. Like,
Yeah. As you know, like when
I feel
Malachi
flattered
came
quite
down, he
frankly.
probably smelled a little bit like incense or whatever. Yeah, like a little, you
Who
know.
took a shit and tried to cover it up with wood smoke?
But anyway, so he's like, tell you what, Jalanthar, not that far from here. If I had to hazard a guess, I would say I could probably find a couple people here in town who know a little bit about it. So, I'll get back to you in the morning, alright? Give me a little bit of time. I'll see what I can find for you.
did LaRue tell you to go to Jalanthar?
No, this is more of a personal thing.
Oh, okay.
And it's not like a big deal. It's like I need to go there. It's more just like I want to know.
Yeah,
about
he's
it.
like,
You-
I'll let you know. In the morning, I'll do
No more
some.
Feywild misadventures.
You hear from the stumbling man upstairs, no!
So,
Meanwhile, can skeletons travel via teleportation circle? Is that a thing?
I think anything.
I think so.
Yeah, why not? Alright.
I think.
It will add to the number, but
Might have to take a couple trips.
well, let's see. Teleportation circle.
We're gonna like try and steal like good goodies from this place, and then fucking
Wait.
Ethan's gonna just be like, give me all the bones.
Question.
Real
Doesn't that have a range on it? Or does it not? Animate dead? Like, if you get out of a certain range, don't they, like, stop following you? And, like...
No, I think
Bruh.
Is it a mile
No,
or is it just set?
it's
I think
the
as long
time
as-
limit. It's
When
all
that's
that
the time
matters is a
limit.
time limit.
Okay.
Oh,
all
okay.
that matters
I
is
didn't.
time.
I didn't know if it like if you got a certain longer.
Yeah. So he'll have to connect with them
If
to.
it's been 24 hours, then
Yeah, it's a
they
cast.
just become whatever they do
Yeah.
whatever they want to do.
Let's see. Next turn, any creature that enters the portal. Okay, yeah. So yeah, it could definitely get you guys plus a couple skeletal friends. So
You can use a couple.
it just said, like, it honestly doesn't show as many people as you can shove into a teleportation circle in a round.
Oh,
So you have
easy.
6 seconds or so.
Yeah, so
And
all
it- and
I
it's-
do
and it's a-
is
and it's a
have
10 and it's a
Malachi
10
hold
foot-
warrior.
It's a 10-foot circle. The teleportation circle is. So you can fit quite a few people within 10 feet, especially if you squeeze in. So yeah, and then plus,
Especially with a
there's a-
tiny person
yeah.
with a.
I could
Yeah.
be in the same space as someone.
yeah. See, there you go.
Can we
You know.
stack?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Yeah, you just like
Yeah.
make a human pyramid kind of thing, and just like
yeah, or you know, you have like Malachi hold like Ethan and or Moyer. And easy peasy.
So yeah, no, very.
Wonder.
And again, it lasts. It says it lasts for 1 round, so everybody can just book it in.
Pile in.
Yeah, even if you can't all fit in the circle, so you can get quite a few people through there.
All right. And I want to thank him for being willing to provide that information and all that. And then,
It's like, oh, of course, you seem like an all right group. Some don't take the little parlor trick, if you will. They don't take it quite as well.
it was concerning at first, quite frankly.
If it wasn't, it wouldn't be funny.
I suppose that is fair. That is how that works.
You hear from upstairs someone going, "Is it the shitter?" He waits, and then you hear a little further away, and then you hear, "Is this the shitter?"
Let's go answer.
And then, like, there's just like, you hear some voice that's like, no, try the end of the hall.
Thank you.
Like it's.
So, Is there anything else that anybody would like to talk about with any of the other members, with Drawl, with, I don't know, random people that you can terrorize through a door? Whatever you want to do. Up to you guys.
I think I'm set.
Tyler.
Yep.
With when you leveled up, you're still going further into the multi-class, right?
Yep.
Okay, it's fine. Just check.
I'm still just a warlock.
Yeah. Yeah, we now have 2 multi-classers. So,
Wait, who's the other one?
Crane took a level of fighter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You did announce it pretty clearly, to be fair.
I'm just devoted. Yeah, I know. I just didn't catch it on that.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
devoted to my new life as a cleric. I'm not looking to multi-class. Like, what do you want from me? You know.
what do you want from me? Dude,
I mean, unless I suddenly become a
mono-class, all you
magical
want.
being.
Nobody's like, hey man, we're gonna be a freaking stick in the mud. One class, ooh. So, if there's nothing else that anybody would like to get done, yeah, you all go to sleep. Malachi, as you
I'm sitting downstairs for a little bit longer.
sure.
I'm just like staring at the mountains, basically. That's what I'm doing. Because the other
Forgot
mountains
what
are
sugar
there.
is.
The nether mountains are there, right? So I'm just like fucking staring at those.
I mean, I guess from where you're at, you're not gonna be able to see them. I mean, if you pull up a map
no,
or I think you
outside.
guys might have gotten a map or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, we haven't met.
Well, Everland's literally at the bottom of the nether mountains. Is it not?
The Nether Mountains?
Oh yeah, the Nether Mountains are
Okay.
like right above.
Oh,
it.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I thought you were talking about the.
No, not the spine. I know.
Gotcha.
I can't see
The
the spine.
Nether Mountains, yes, you can see over, kind of off in the distance. Yeah, it looming up. It's pretty close by, for sure. You can see those. And like I said, the storm is kind of starting to come in. You see, you heard a little bit of thunder. As I don't know how long you plan on hanging out outside.
Oh,
or-
just for like until I realized like that I'd been doing it for too long.
Okay.
Like, just kind of get lost.
As night comes, there's a slight trickle of rain begins to fall. This far north, it's starting to turn into freezing rain. So it's pretty chilly out, and yeah, not quite snow yet, but maybe soon.
When I come back inside, then I'm like, Ethan, like, do you get like cold? Do you feel temperatures?
Now that you ask, no.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I just noticed it's colder outside. I just want to. I know you like to roam around sometimes. Just be careful. Like, I think the rain is freezing. So, like, if you don't get cold, like, you might not notice there's ice on the ground.
Is there snow?
No, not yet. But there might be ice.
Can we go play?
Well, there isn't snow. So, I mean, if we go to Mirabar, there will be, for sure.
We should go there.
Yeah.
So it is getting later in the day. There's some people in the main lobby or the main bar area who are drinking, and just generally having a good time. A few of them starting to trickle out as time goes on. So.
Yeah, once I asked for the information, I probably just went to my room, honestly.
Okay. Once everybody makes it to sleep, again, as long as nothing else anybody would like to do. Right. So Malachi, as you head off to sleep, You don't necessarily have a dream, but kind of just as you're starting to fade in and out, you just very faintly hear a voice that just says, "Have faith." So,
You hear someone banging a broom on your door. Keep it down in there!
Wait, me? My door? I'm like, sorry.
not like you would have heard.
Not what you would have heard.
That was the point.
It just picks a random door like, "Hey, you! Quiet!"
Drunk Crane is best Crane.
But you all find your way to sleep, except for Ethan, who I guess does his usual chilling in the bar room area, or okay, sure, why not?
Damn.
But the rest of you fall asleep to the sound of the rain kind of tapping against some of the windows. It's comforting, to some of you. And you wake up in the morning.
It's alive.
I am going to use the bathroom real quick, so I'd really like to take a quick break. Whatever.
Go to a different headset.
No problem. Be right back. Bye, Rick.
Alright. I need to ask the party something. It's more just like a, what should I take? It's just, do I want polymorph, or do I just want Ethan level of, hey, I just don't need to sleep. I just need to lightly do things for 8 hours to get a long rest, basically.
What would you do at that time?
Honestly, I don't know, aside from just always having 2 people on watch. Like, that's basically...
Yeah. So, this thing, if a wizard or something, they can use that time, really heavily, really easily, but
I'm a warlock.
yeah, if you're not using that time, then, I don't know.
Yeah, it must just be like, hey...
polymorph at will is a thing, tdo that, do you get to cast polymorph?
Not without that evocation, or invocation. Let's see if I can find it again. Sculptor Flesh, that's what it was. Yeah, Sculptor Flesh basically is just like, hey, once per long rest, I can use a spell slot for polymorph instead of one of my actual spells. And I can't get polymorph without it. But it's either that, or don't sleep, or I could just remove a buff from Eldritch Blast, like the push or the slow, to get the not sleep as well. But I also really do like pushing and slowing things with Eldritch Blast, because it's kind of really funny, honestly. And actually useful in terms of the end fight.
So you're telling me to roll odds or evens for polymorph or no sleep?
Sure. That works.
You get polymorph.
That's totally fine by me, because polymorph is a neat spell.
All right. Is everyone good to go?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. I figure we can continue on for a little bit. I know some people will be having to head off relatively soon. So it shouldn't be too much longer. So morning comes.
Yeah, fuck you, Derek.
I do thoroughly apologize for that. I am
fuck you,
sorry.
Derek.
So
Fair, but
we don't have a plan for this at all. Do we have can we get specs of the manor? Can we
You
what
were
are we doing for
You know
this?
some
you-
stuff about it.
yeah, you were told some stuff.
Wait,
Did,
we got that right.
did anybody, I don't know, write down the information?
I wrote down a couple things. I will try to find that page.
I have
TBH.
vague details.
If I had wrote it down.
Well,
That is fair.
but it's also possible that you did.
I understand that they're cultists and we might face magic users and
Oathevere told you about some of the defenses.
Yeah.
It's in a carriage. There's a large
Yeah,
spell
so-
in the carriage.
The building itself is 3 stories. There's a carriage house attached. And there's a couple guards. There's a one sliding door with a magical lock that specifically with the alarm spell trapped on it, basically.
Yep. There's an
Bedtime.
alarm spell on the carriage, and there's an arcane lock on the sliding door on the main
Yeah.
building. One of the main buildings, the side building.
They're under a compartment of the carriage, and the guy's sister is the spellcaster,
It's under the
so if
passenger
we do
seat.
get caught. What do you say?
It's under the passenger seat. There's a secret compartment.
and that's where we want to rob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
So
the
you-
house made of? Do we know?
You were told that it's a
Brick house?
there's a 3-story building. You weren't told too much about it. It sounds like it was some sort of estate.
Yeah, but the houses around here, like the buildings, what are they made out of?
Oh, around Everland?
Yeah.
Everland
They're
has
mostly stone.
I believe so, yes. There's lots of stone, very stately looking buildings.
Okay, so when we sit down together at the table, kind of in hushed tones, because obviously we're talking about like
The
so
rain
I-
still hasn't stopped as you all wake in the morning.
Oh wait, we woke up.
So, I can prepare a spell that can shape stone. Might help us with like getting into the carriage house. Does anybody else have anything that might help with the?
For my part, I can make someone invisible, even to the point of attacking, and I can teleport myself as well as one other person a very far distance, quite frankly.
You'd be really good at stealing shit.
I'll be real with you, Crane. This is a very rare instance where stealing is actually acceptable.
Agreed.
Now, see where I come from. Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
So
Thinking?
so
What
Crane,
can I do?
Eyeball.
you called it off, before you were too terribly far gone. So in the morning you're probably feeling mostly fine. That being said, like you say, Crane doesn't tend to drink. So you might be feeling just a little groggy, just kind of like you woke up in the morning and you're just kind of like, I don't feel like getting up.
Do I
guess so.
notice that he's kind of feeling that way?
Insight check.
We're very insightful people here. Oh, I rolled it. I made a 26.
26?
Wow, we are insightful here.
Yeah, so you see Crane get up. He's stepping a little bit heavier than he usually does. He looks like he's groggy, but he's not like impaired or anything like that. Just, moving a little slow in the morning, but you notice.
Never mind. Less restoration's a second level spell. I'm not going to waste that on his hungover ass.
Yeah, looking at it, you imagine you're like an hour or so of being awake, and he'll probably be good to go.
Actually, I'll just hear it.
I mean, honestly, at this point, I feel like the damage is done. I mean, I don't think it's gonna do anything. It might make you feel worse. But anyway, so you wanted to talk about your plans?
Well, if it's like there's a wall, I can make a pathway through the wall, so we can kind of like go in the side. We don't have to worry about going over the wall or around gates and stuff.
Well, the wall would probably be made out of stone. Metal's too expensive and wood's too poor.
Yeah. And then
Do we know of anyone from there?
The only person was
Both of you.
both of you.
Yeah.
Who gives the info? You can wait. Wasn't one of the scrolls you got dispel magic, Ethan?
Yes.
I think that would be helpful for the alarm. You didn't prepare that. You had all night.
okay. To be fair, it's a day's travel, so
It's a day and a half, really.
I mean, it's not time.
Are you? I say, have you spent the money to copy it to your spellbook?
Because how much money is that again?
Let's see. Dispel magic is that I'm just
Level 1.
That's
No, it's third
third.
level.
That's a
never mind.
third level spell. For each level of spell, was it 50 gold? Let me take a quick look.
I've never
Wizard?
played a wizard.
Features.
Hunter just threw so much money at us that it didn't fucking matter.
Okay, learning a spell. Copying a spell to a spell book.
Is a bad idea.
For each level of spell, the process
50 gold.
takes 2 hours and 50 gold.
150 gold.
So
That's
150 gold and 6 hours, and you'll have
This is
yourself
nothing?
Yeah.
You know how
100,
many shiny rocks I have?
150
Shiny
gold
rocks.
and 6 hours, and you can have yourself a dispel magic.
I have 50 shiny rocks.
And a matter
But
of
where did all your shiny rocks go?
I think the last batch spells, honestly.
Spells, yeah.
Okay.
so.
Oh wait, actually wait, 150 gold is a lot of gold. Never mind, that's a lot of gold. I thought I had
Yeah.
1,000.
I already did lightning bolt, which is 150, and then I
Yeah.
did.
Okay.
We're not in the high levels just yet. Gold still matters.
We're not super rich yet.
Gold still matters right now. I'm
I'm willing to pay a fair amount. I got like
and
370.
Yeah,
That's
so,
plus. That's
Ethan,
actually really important for the highs.
I'm gonna say when it comes to copying down spells, you can do it because you don't need to sleep per se. It's not particularly like physically strenuous to do. So I'm gonna say you could do it during a long rest. However, any perception rolls that you make would be at disadvantage because you're distracted while you're doing it.
Dang it! I knew I should have gone with never sleeping.
So, yeah. So you can do it during a long rest, but any sort of watch that you take isn't going to be quite as effective. That's how I'm gonna do it.
Well, maybe we just like do a quick smash and grab and like don't worry about the alarm spell and just run.
I, for one, do not mind stabbing cultists. Or
That's fair.
I
So we just
can-
gotta kill them all? I mean,
you're the one who said it.
You said it. I mean,
Are these bad people?
Yes. They,
Well, I
they-
mean, bad is
they-
kind of a gray area.
These corpses.
No, they're bad.
No one will be upset.
actually, depending on who they're worshipping, they might appreciate it.
I mean, we've been told directly they worship
I
as
do a
Odin.
quick like sorry Cord for that joke. That was a bad one. You know.
I'm sorry, God, I didn't mean it.
I didn't mean. My bad. My
It
bad.
was just a meme, bro. Just a prank, bro.
So, you guys can head off whenever you like. Do whatever you need to do in town.
Damn it! Janet!
Whatever you'd like to do.
Ride for stealing.
Yeah, I think we're just going. I think
Okay.
we're
So it's like a
going.
day, right? To get
I'm gonna
there?
say it'll take
Okay.
a little over a day. Yeah, like a
Perfect.
day and a half or so to
All
get
right.
to Silvery Moon.
I don't know how useful this will be,
I
but I
think-
can do this.
Do I
And
have
then-
the? Let me check my other map to see if I have.
Start to change.
See if
Oh.
I have the. Wait, what's gonna start to change?
My body,
Is your body ready?
as I change my appearance to look exactly like Malachi.
Wait, why would you do that?
Why? Why would you do this?
I can't believe you've done this.
Not with lightning, brothers.
Okay. Wait, is he shorter? Is he a shorter version of me, or is he like the
No,
full size?
I can change my height and everything.
Oh, damn.
And everything. I can literally look exactly like you and sound exactly like you.
I'm really
look
freaked
back and
out by
forth.
this because I've never seen you do this, and I'm just like,
I look back and forth and be like,
yeah.
oh fuck, they're stupid.
Okay, yeah. Looking at it, it's gonna take you almost 2 days to get there.
Almost.
So I didn't have the scale quite right, and then I checked it, and yeah.
I could use this and sneak in.
Sneak in what?
What? Into the...
The cultist one.
Wait, who are you gonna? Do you know what a guard does?
Guards?
So you're gonna be a guard,
Yeah.
wandering around inside.
Well, I'm looking for the bathroom.
You know what?
I'm new here.
You know what? There have been stupider plans that have worked.
Okay, wait. I got a better plan. What if? Never mind, you know what? We'll just save it. Just lock that one in the vault. Keep it for later.
Okay.
Maybe
Disguise
bust it
self
out
is
when
very
the
useful.
situation happens, and I just do it anyway.
Does it's like the middle of the fight, and he's just like, "Aha! I look like you." Let's
Huzzah!
No one know which one's the necromancer when I'm looking like other people.
You make
Those are both
yourself
names
look
landing.
different. Are you using disguise self?
Alter self.
Alter self. Ah. Because I was about to say, I was like, hold
No,
on.
I'm literally like magic.
Okay, transmutation. You assume a different
Yes.
form, change appearance, height, weight, facial features.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. You can't appear as a different size, so as long as you stay medium, you're good. So yeah, he can make himself look like Malachi. Yeah.
He makes himself look like a centaur too.
No, I
Centaurs
can't
would be-
become.
Nope.
Oh, no.
bipolar or
That's a
whatever.
different set
Oh.
of you have to be
Yeah.
like the
Guitar,
same
okay.
limbs and arms and all that.
Unfortunate.
So, but basically, it's not just an illusion. Like he actually transformed his body.
Yeah.
So it holds up better than a disguised self would. So, all right,
How do you guys think I got into town?
fantastic. You guys heading out?
Start.
Yes.
Think so.
All right. You gather up.
By the way, for the hour this lasts, I am not taking it down.
Well, I mean, you cast it. You might as well keep it up. Yeah, for sure.
Why no?
So you head out. The rain hasn't stopped. There's still some travel going on. People kind of covering their heads and might not be quite as lively, but even so, it's busy. Business doesn't stop. And as you begin to walk towards the northern side of town, one of the northern gates, you do get a couple strange looks as you have Malachi and his twin walking through the town.
The best thing about it is like I also like my normal stern face like has just like a huge smile on it right now. Just like I'm like just super content, like walking through the rain with a big dopey smile on it.
Yeah,
basically.
like people for the most part, people are like hurrying to try to get out of the rain, but every once in a while you see them do a double take, like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Not one, but two giant Goliaths that look exactly the same.
Since he altered himself
Mhm.
to match him,
Mhm.
does that mean he's able to feel?
Mm,
Because you would have all the flesh and blood and components.
Hold up. I did not consider this. Hang on a second.
that's fair. With a skeleton?
Because you would have a brain, you would have nerves and skin.
The effects last. The spell you can change.
But it's only for an
You
appearance?
transform your appearance. None
would
of your
say no.
statistics change.
I would say no.
I'm gonna say no. Yes, because none of the statistics change and all that. So that really means that like you're just as
Now, if I got polymorphed,
Yeah,
then
I
I
was going
would.
to say if you got polymorph.
I agree. So
I could polymorph.
So yeah, basically, like his strength is the same, even though he looks like this massive Goliath and all of that. So, so yeah, no, that was a very good question though. I thought about that and I was like, well, hold up a second, there might be something to that, but good thinking.
Yeah. Would he have like fake blood and like muscles and things like that? Like if someone did stab him.
You know,
Is it a concentration spell?
we don't know yet because it hasn't
It
happened.
is.
So if it
You
covered
know, that's a
concentration-
fair answer.
If you want to stab Ethan, hopefully you pick the right one. Anyway,
It actually would be tough to pick the right one right now because I have the dumb smile on my face.
yeah, I'm about to say, in
What are
any
you
normal
talking about? You think I don't?
That's the
Oh,
thing.
That's what he's saying.
Normally you would just look for the stern look, like
Yeah.
the flat face. and-
yeah, like the
You're like,
stern-looking
oh, that's
Goliath. He's what he's
Man,
saying,
I'll see
but
what
right
I'm
now,
Making up some fucking theme song for us. We're just like,
Yeah.
"Thunder bros, walking through the rain. Thunder bros, bros,
so
get
you
out the way. Thunder bros.
you come to the gate. The guard, they see all of you. One kind of cocks an eyebrow, and that's about it. They let you out just fine.
It's like, not even worth my time.
And then, right, so you all head on over to Silvery Moon. Did anybody want to donate the gold for Ethan to get his spells?
I'm totally willing.
Because that has to happen before you leave town. So do that now. Because there's not a whole lot of...
I'll donate 50.
Yeah,
even though like it's gonna put me way off of my my plans for what's it called for
Chainmail.
Plate.
mail.
Yeah.
Plate mail.
So yeah,
Thank
there's
you, comrades.
yeah.
Do you
so
only need
you can
50
get
or-
that. He can get that now.
If I'm only doing this, well,
If he's doing Dispel Magic, he needs 150. I think he said he had like 15 or something. So
I
can't say that money was spent wisely on my most of the time.
So, yeah, so sure thing. You guys split it up however you like, but it's giving you the opportunity to do that now before you get out on the road and you don't have access to those kind of materials. So,
I'm not willing to donate the 100, I guess. Like, I honestly don't use my gold for much.
okay. So 100 gold
Thank
from
you.
100 gold from Ural, 50 from Malachi.
For what?
He's
Dispel
getting components so that way he can learn Dispel Magic.
What are
So-
the
Been
other
done.
options? Like, fly.
Fly,
and-
Water breathing, worthless. The
Yeah,
tonguey
for
tongue,
this.
sending magic weapon.
How much would fly be? What level is that?
I think it's third as well.
Third.
Okay.
Sounds like-
So So you find a magic shop, a place that deals with kind of a scholarly place of business, one that specifically deals with
Fuck
the,
yes.
It deals with the.
I'm walking in as
arcane.
Malachi.
Yeah, you're not the standard customer
I'm here for the
to come in
sorcerer
there.
/ wizard.
So you look like a cleric, like trying to buy wizard.
Yeah, basically.
This is like the one place in the entire town where you would like be normal by like being like dressed up in your normal robes and like cloth and stuff, and then you're coming in like a armored up Malachi.
So, yeah, you get a
I'm a
new
rebel.
you get a set of what you need. So over the course of your long rest, you could dedicate time to copy that in,
I
or
sure
whenever you get free time.
Now, what third level spell should I take?
Up to you. So you take off in the rain. It's cold. A lot of you kind of have to pull whatever cloaks or jackets that you have tight around you as you try to fend off the cold. Malachi is doing fine. It's no problem for him, and Ethan doesn't get cold either, so he's also a-okay.
Yeah, kidding. Like wet and cold. Like that's what I'm like. I was looking forward to this. Like, we're here.
Yeah. So and the something about just the storm and your newfound motivation, Malachi. It feels being in the storm just feels very good to you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Going
so
north, moving north feels good to me. Everything feels good.
So we've already done a fair amount of traveling and the like recently. So I'm just going to go ahead and hurry this part along. So Ethan, 150 gold, and
that.
to you clear that off, and you have a third level spell of whatever you want.
It's been done.
Well, not whatever you want, but you know. So you have your third level spell. You travel along the Nether Mountains are off to your right. There's Silverwood to your left, which is a forest. You continue to travel. There's a few mountains you see. There's as you kind of leave the Nether Mountains behind, another little small set of mountains. Also off to your right starts to appear on the horizon. And within a couple days, you find your way to Silvery Moon. Let's see.
Wait a minute. Question.
What's up?
I know we talked about this, but I don't remember what was said. When learning the scroll, it does not consume it, correct?
It does. Yes. The scroll is used up.
What the fuck, man?
You got a free spell. Well, not free, but you got an extra spell, dude, that...
I wanted another one.
Well, now you have as many as you want as long as you have spell slots.
Could be like that.
You can cast infinite amount of that spell.
Uh-huh.
Not per day, but overall, you know. So anyway, you find your way to Silvery Moon. Now, Silvery Moon is a bit of a different kind of town, city. It's known as the Gem of the North. It's a beautiful, tranquil city where trees and gardens live in harmony with buildings, bridges, and sculptures. It has a great library. This is breathtaking temples and shrines. Respected schools of magic, art, and music. Its beauty awes visitors and is the subject of many bardic songs and tales. So this place seems almost like Elven inspired. After doing a little bit of searching around, you do find out where the Margaster estate is, which is a little bit off on its own, a little secluded. Still within
Cool.
the area of the city, but not like in the center of it, kind of near the edge a little bit. Are you guys just going straight for that, or
Yeah.
okay? Sure.
Pretty much.
All right, so you find the Margaster estate. And you pull that back up. There's so many things I have to like jump around between. All right, so you do see this this three-story tower, and close by on the property you see this detached standalone carriage house. That's where it is made of stone. The ground floor is windowless. The upper floor looks like it might be some sort of like apartment or something like a little area where somebody could be housed. It's got a barred window set in each of the walls. And that's what you can see. And then you see the large sliding door at the front. There's still the rain has been holding steady for
What does the house look like it's made
a
of?
few days now. The tower I think is also mostly stone. Lots of stone at this place. So kind of a three-story stone tower with a stone two-story kind of carriage house.
Yeah, but we just want to slip into the carriage house.
Mm-hmm. That's where the
Hold up.
thing is.
It is a rich person's house. They have rich
Be
people
safe.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do we want
Bullet,
to like?
boys.
Here's the issue: is if we go in there like and try and like take it over, that's a much louder sort of endeavor comparatively to like slip into the carriage house and then leave.
So I could do something
Okay.
that some of you probably won't approve of.
I have full access to that too.
Things we wouldn't approve of. I mean,
I've
I just
already
don't.
done
We really
things-
want to like. So the authorities of the town could like chase us if we go in there and like kill everything. But if we like get in and out, then like they wouldn't necessarily, right? So.
Yeah. Side
But if we
question.
like go killing people, then it's gonna like I know they're bad people and like that's fine, but do we want to like be on the run? Is the
This
question.
would kind of fix that. I could summon 2 to 8 demons,
Oh my god.
lesser demons, mind you.
Fight
And
fire
you
with
go.
fire.
Yeah, we'll go.
I
Go mess things
see
up.
your demon and raise eight.
I'm already dealing with the fact that we have an undead wizard.
Wait a minute. We have the
And
potential
You're a demon worshiper.
18
No.
little shit people that we can throw at things. I'm liking it. Ugh. Brother.
So what are we gonna have the demons do? Attack the house while we go into the
It
carriage
is.
house?
It is
Yes.
at this time
But-
where it's a reminder that you all don't exactly know where Moyer's power comes from.
Yeah, he really freaks me out.
He's been real hush hush about it.
Okay,
Yeah, like,
okay.
I'm like, hey, man,
So I think
LaRue?
what he's trying to say is that we could pin it on
Yes.
demons because they're
Yes.
known demon worshippers.
There is a but though. I can't control them.
So wait, no, this.
Wait a minute.
Wait, what
Even
spell are you
beyond the
talking
fact
about?
Of summoning demons.
Summon lesser demons.
I think
Wait a
you
minute.
can control that though, to an extent.
It specifically says no.
Are you
It's not like conjure elemental
What
or
if you
whatever.
conjure them and they don't like us?
Wait a minute.
Demons are hostile to all creatures, including you.
Oh my god!
Wait, to
Freaking
themselves? To each other?
I mean, I would assume
Wait,
not, but
Okay, wait.
So that's just
we
like
could come out as heroes.
Question mark. Question mark.
This got way darker than stealing from the gold.
What do demons speak?
Abyssal?
I would
Infernal.
Wait,
Abyssal and Infernal, I think it is. Or I think like
Which
one's the
one?
script, one is a speak. Like I think Abyssal is the spoken, Infernal is the written. I think.
Anybody who here, Ethan?
I don't know either.
Ethan's,
okay.
Ethan's the one asking. Roll.
no, this
a...
is like this isn't like as like a character. This is a genuine like question.
Okay, demons speak abyssal.
Okay.
Devils speak infernal.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Devils and demons are not the same.
We're gonna go back.
Sure.
We're going back into character. I'm literally gonna be like, I can do what I did before to turn into Malachi, but I'm gonna say it in Abyssal.
What do you mean?
Wait, you're
Like,
gonna say,
You're only talking abyssal?
I'm talking in Abyssal. Yes, I
don't
know
know.
Abyssal.
I
know,
know, hear
exactly.
this
I'm just like-
strange, harsh language. Moyer,
That's not orcish.
as Ethan speaks this strange, do you know abyssal?
No.
Okay. So
Oh my
as
God.
he speaks this strange language, it like almost kind of resonates in your head, and it's a little unnerving because
like Ethan, I'm already freaked
you
out.
don't know it, but you're familiar with it.
Can we just go?
You
back to
instantly know
regular,
what
please?
language it is.
I can speak demon, and I can pretend to be one of the demons,
Okay,
and then I'll just
so
tell him to go do stuff.
I'm
That's
really
not how that
concerned.
works.
I can also. Okay.
That's exactly
I
how it works. What do you mean?
I can make a circle in the ground made of blood, and they can't, cro-
Okay, this
They
is
can't-
really not making
they
me
can't cross
comfortable.
that line.
Oh, but like you need blood for that.
Yes.
Okay, well, see, the flip side of this is how would they have massacred the house if they couldn't get outside of a circle of blood?
Put them in that. Just summon them
Yeah, just
directly
in the
into the
house.
house.
And they'll
Why
do
are we
whatever.
summoning demons?
Well,
I can just go in there
It's
and
an
steal.
option, okay?
He's
Throwing it out there.
I like the idea of like the.
I like
quick-
it. It's
the
up
quick
for
in and out.
consideration.
I like
It's
the
a
quick-
good diversion as long as like.
I like the quick in and out. Smash and grab the item that we were tipped to get.
Yeah, see? It's fine.
That's what I think is the safe and,
How tall are these walls?
intelligent thing to do.
the tower is 3 stories. The carriage house is a 2-story.
Oh, I thought the estate had a wall.
It doesn't mention anything about it, so.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought that then. Where, are we? Are we there?
Yeah, you're at the. You can see it off. Kind of like I'm gonna say you're not on the grounds yet,
Yeah.
but you found it.
Do I
You're
see
near-
guards?
You're about. Nope. It looks pretty quiet.
What time of day is it?
Let's see. Took you almost about 2 days to get there, so you probably left in the morning. So almost 2 days. So you're probably there hitting right about dusk.
Perfect.
Actually, that works out pretty well for you. Yeah.
So guys, here's my plan. I sneak in. If I get caught, we just kill them.
How do we know you got caught?
You'll hear screaming and probably fighting, or just screaming.
I can make you invisible to make it even.
I can
Easy.
put a circle of blood on the ground. Throw down some demons. Don't
I
worry.
can make a circle of blood. I can do that.
So,
Granted, I have to
give
cut
me-
myself or someone else, but I can do that.
Give me invisibility. I go in. Even if I trip the magic lock, what are they gonna do? Kill me? Probably. But probably
Word.
not before you come kill them. Wait, Ethan, you know how to spell magic, right?
I do, good sir.
Make Ethan invisible because he's clacky. I don't really.
It's raining. How are they gonna hear me?
Exactly. Well, yeah. I am much more experienced in being not seen than you. Okay, so make Ethan invisible. He comes with me. He dispels the arcane lock and/or the alarm, and then we get the stuff and leave.
I can't. Oh, wait, never mind. Yeah, I can do that.
That sound like a plan?
Sure.
But a
Totally works.
backup is if stuff happens, we throw some demons.
All right.
I don't like that idea, but I feel like it's gonna happen anyways.
Hey,
It's like our alarm.
I feel like that's
Okay.
not a very good alarm.
So.
I mean, they're only lesser demons.
We'll,
It's
go in.
fine.
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
So, who's doing what?
Summon some imps or whatever. It'll be fine.
So. cast
Wait,
invisibility
so, like,
on-
We're really just gonna like cause all this. Like, can't we just try and sneak in and
Yes.
get it?
That's plan A.
That's plan A. Okay.
Plan
The oh crap
And that
button.
does not work.
is the summon demons, trap them, pin it on them. Oh my god, demons, stop them.
Look over there. It's demons. Okay.
And then we're like, ooh, over here.
So who are we like stealthing in? Like that's the thing, because I got the
Ethan and
Ethan's
Crane.
invisible.
but I got the stone shape.
Then you
Just
can
pick the
create,
lock open.
or you can create the little passage in, and then send both of them in, and then
Yeah,
He's
I'll get
really
you in
flanky.
behind the carriage house. Because that way, well, you might have to pick the lock if I can just stone shape it. Stone shape the wall.
You're gonna get caught.
Fine.
You're really
I
big.
can make him invisible. I do have 2
Yeah.
spell slots.
Yeah, but you
Well,
can
it's
only
concentration.
concentrate on one.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I know, but I mean, like, make
Well,
him
and then
outside
that's
invisible so he can
evidence,
cast
too.
it,
That's
and then he
evidence.
walks off.
That's evidence too, and I can't cast stone shape twice because I don't have 2 level 4 spell slots.
Okay, so
I do.
cast it on Ethan. We'll go in.
Yeah.
Easy,
Okay.
easy money.
Both of you
Okay.
going in?
Yes.
Okay.
And I am casting greater invisibility on Ethan.
Before you go.
I would like to cast guidance on both of them.
How long does
Okay.
guidance last?
I think it's a minute.
It's a minute.
Okay.
It's
Oh, wait,
concentration,
hold on.
so I can only pick one. So I pick I don't know who to pick. I pick
I'll pick the lock. Pick me.
yeah, I pick you
Okay.
because you
Yeah.
wouldn't let me cast guidance on you back in the day. So this is a good feeling.
All right. What's the code word for Plan Demon?
Screaming. Lots of screaming.
Ah, it's a demon. Just do that. Just be like, oh my gosh, there's a demon.
I feel like the cultist in front of me is gonna be like, what? What?
And then there's gonna be a demon, so it's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
That'll work.
at least 2.
So
So,
Ethan's going invisible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is that what's happening?
I guess so.
I'm gonna wait.
Ethan,
in
are
Los
you
Alamos
accepting?
to-
Are you accepting the invisibility?
I mean, yeah. Whenever it's happening.
Okay.
Actually, they don't need to be willing for greater invisibility, apparently. nowhere does it say a willing creature. Just you
Sure.
or a creature you touch.
Well, I'm
becomes
just saying, if you're
invisible.
walking up to cast something on him and he's like backing away, you know, I imagine you're not
Don't
gonna.
touch me.
That's why I say go get.
Here's my invisibility whistle. Woo!
Demons!
He's
Demons!
he's gonna make
Summon him now. All right, so Ethan's going invisible. Crane's stealthing up. The rest of the group is watching from a distance.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say you're like what, 60 feet back, kind of along somewhere out of sight.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay. So, I need a stealth check from Crane, and I need a stealth check from Ethan with invisibility gets advantage.
26.
You're fine.
14?
With advantage?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're all
Could be worse.
the two of you walk up. You're not anywhere like you're still on the edge, so you know. The two of you walk up. Crane, you don't see Ethan, but you do hear little wet footsteps, kind of just like psh, 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 as he goes through. But it's not. I mean, there's still a fair amount of rain. It's not like it's
overt or anything. It's just you're right next to him. You know he's there when he's moving. You find your way up to the side of the building. You kind of press yourself against it. The sliding door is at the front. There are no windows on the ground floor.
Did this have the lock on it? Or did it have the alarm? Or was that-
This is a point when Crane might be thinking like, crap, I forgot.
Ethan, did this have the alarm or the lock? Or anything?
What were the two options? There was a carriage. I can remember which one has which. I just don't remember what the options were.
The carriage and the sliding door.
Okay, the sliding door did not have the alarm. The carriage did.
Okay, so this has the arcane lock on it.
Okay. I'm so confused, but okay.
So there was a lock and an alarm. Both magic. So cast Dispel Magic on the door. Or see if it's magical before you do that.
Can I sense any magic coming from?
Roll an Arcana check.
I'm actually 24.
24. Okay. You go to the door. You examine it. You do see
This is a door.
a very faint rune that seems to be kind of like ever so slightly glowing and placed on the door.
Okay, I'm gonna dispel magic.
All right. Dispel magic automatically works if the spell is level 3 or lower.
Yes, because I'm casting it at level 3.
Okay. Yeah. That rune glows a little bit brighter and then just kind of like dissipates, fizzles.
Cool.
I'm gonna open
Turn
it.
to
It's
Crane
quiet
and I
as
put my thumbs up.
So you go to open the
Wait,
door.
you're invisible.
I know. Yeah. Didn't say anything. Just like
Yeah, I go to open the door.
Yeah, Crane almost bumps into you.
Just-
Slide a hand check, just to see how easily you can.
17.
Yeah. Okay. With the rain covering you, you're fine. The door, ever so slightly, you crack it open as enough to get you and Ethan through. I imagine you don't need to do too much more than that. But just kind of slightly, and it kind of slides a little bit, and you've got enough space to get through.
Okay, I'm gonna take a peek inside with my goggles of dog vision.
Sure. Inside, you see a kind of just what you would expect. Nothing too crazy. There is a carriage. Inside of this room, there's some bags over in the corner with some rope and other tools and things. Some extra blankets and stuff like that. Maybe like a little bit of like a grab bag or something like that in case somebody needed to get out quick. There's a kind of a workbench area and on the side that looks like repairs, like any repairs on the carriage would be done with these tools. And you do see the carriage, and there's two like draft horses that are hooked up to this carriage. They appear to be pretty like they haven't made a big ruckus over you showing up or anything like that. Off to the side, there is an open staircase leading up to the second floor. Roll a perception check for me.
26.
Okay. You hear soft voices talking upstairs.
Okay.
2 of them.
Let's. Ethan should be like, just follow my lead. And I'm gonna try to sneak around back behind the carriage.
Okay.
Careful not to make a sound.
You circle around this carriage. It's very finely made. It's like made with this kind of rich mahogany and very fancy looking. There's a couple doors on it. 2 at the back, 2 at the front. Well, they're kind of like both stuck together, just one main compartment. So that's what you see.
They locked.
You get a closer look at it. You don't see any real like locking mechanism or anything on them. Hard to say without actually trying to open it.
Open it from the back.
Okay. You find so there's two on the side, like there's 2 double doors on the side of it. So you gonna open up on the side?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you're gonna open the door up on the side. You kind of reach up, you pull this little lever. It pulls easy. It doesn't seem like it's locked. And then as you start to pull it, you hear this sound of like this handbell kind of thing that just starts going off, going ding 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 ding. And then you hear the voices upstairs get like you hear something go like some sort of like shouting, and then you start to hear thumps across the planks above you as footsteps make their way towards stairs. And that is where we'll pick up next time.
Wait, you guys didn't dispel the actual alarm.
I saw them on the compartment in the carriage.
Wait, what did you open?
It was on the doors of the carriage had the alarm spell.
That was not known to us. That is fair. That is
Was it not?
The fault. At least the way I wrote it was the alarm was on the compartment.
The
not
carriage.
on the doors.
The carriage is protected by an alarm spell.
I don't know, I have it written as the
Did
compartment.
I say that wrong? I'm gonna go. Okay, next in between sessions, I'm gonna go back and check the video. I'm gonna see what I said, and
That's
if
fair, you know?
and if I did say it wrong, I'll give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it to you.
I didn't.
If
write
I
it down,
didn't,
just wrote down.
You guys are about to fight some stuff. So
Understand.
We're
Well,
ready.
are we though?
find out next time. Well, yeah, or if you just want to drop whatever mess and run, that's also an option.
Oh,
It's
no,
over.
we're getting out of there with the thing. We came all the way up here. We traveled a day for this shit. We're getting it.
2?
2 days.
2 days.
What you're talking about? I'm gonna dispel the magic. I'm still invisible, and he's gonna hide.
So, well, you don't have a whole lot of time to plan,
Easy.
unless, again, if I misspoke, I will go check. Anyway, guys,
Alright.
thanks for playing.
Yep, it's fun.
Oh yeah.
We'll pick up here next time. Goodbye. Alright, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. As always, appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed. And we will be back next week. Hopefully on time, because this one ended up being a little bit late, but that was kind of out of my control. So, anyway, have a good one. Catch you next time.